up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. Listen, put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me perfectly fine. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me perfectly fine. Also, as you come into the building, make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button. That is super, super important, you guys. So make sure you're hitting the like button as you come into the building. What's going on? Long time no see. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everyone is enjoying their weekend. So listen, you guys see the title. So I have a few topics I want to discuss on this great Friday. I hope y'all, it is Friday the 13th, by the way. Friday the 13th, child. Anyway, listen. Hit the like button as you come into the building. Shout out to everybody watching, everybody in the chat, everybody who supports your channel. I appreciate you guys so much. Shout out, let me see. Ada James in the building. Garrett, what's going on? Lorenzo Redmond, Successful MD, OTC, Robo. I hope I'm saying it right. Reese Jenkins, Ash G, Frank G Life. What's going on? Shout out to you guys. I hope y'all are doing well. Shout out to everybody in the building, all the ladies and the gentlemen. Shout out to each and every one of you guys. So, title, Black Men Have It Harder, Migrant Protest Plus More. So there's a few things I want to talk about, you guys. I'm not going to keep y'all too long today. But as you come into the building, make sure you hit the like button. Also, if you are new to the channel and you like the content and you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also share and like the stream as well if you can. So we're going to hop right into this. I want to play a clip for you guys of what this woman had to say. And I want to get your thoughts on it. I want to know your thoughts on this one. So make sure you're ready to chime in. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can support the channel via purchasing merchandise, t-shirts, cups, whatever. You can do that as well. Also, super chat, or you can super chat to support the channel, or Cash App to support the channel. Make sure you guys are supporting in any of those ways. And also just hit the like button. It is free to like. All right. So let me pull up this clip for y'all. I want to play this clip because I thought it was super important. And I just want to get your thoughts on it. Let's see here. Here we go.
Men have it 100% harder than any other nationality and any other race in the world. You have other black men that look just like you gunning for you. You have women that only want to use you. You grow up with a chip on your shoulder because you're taught that you always have to take care of everything and everybody, and nobody's looking out for you. And if you show even a hint of weakness, you a sissy, you a punk, you sassy. You have the whole world that looks at you like a threat. And as a mother of 4 black sons, plus I have cousins, I have brothers, I have my dad. They have it the hardest out of everybody. I look at the prisons, and I'm very, very passionate about young men and the recidivism rate and how it's so high. And I realize it is so high because the support for those men is so low. The support for them getting help with their mental health is so low. It's like, if you look at them, if they show an ounce of weakness, if they cry, if they show their feelings, they are judged in such a manner that they have to bottle up so much, and they don't have people that are just like, here I am.
So that was the clip. What do you think about what she has to say? I talk about this a lot, which I don't think a lot of people want to talk about it. I think when you talk about men in general, a man's well-being, their mental health, and all of that, a lot of people don't want to talk about it. By the way, it is Men's Health Awareness Month. It's observed annually every June, but you don't really hear nobody talking about it. But it is Men's Health Awareness Month, by the way. But I say that to say a lot of times men are not the focal point. You have men talking about, Father's Day and things like that, how it's not much how it's not celebrated and how it's not focused on. And it's the truth. And I think once again, men and especially black men, I think they do have it harder in some cases. I don't think that is something knowing that is something that should completely stop you from progressing in life. No, I think there are a lot of successful men. There are men who are thriving and progressing every single day. But I do think there is a factor to it. I do think that men are not focused on. The focus is always on women. Men are like the afterthought in a sense. And that's sad. I hate to say that, but it's sad. They're secondary, and it's not much emphasis on it there. And we talk about men's health and health awareness and all of that things. Nobody really cares about that. Women barely want to hear what men have to say. People in general rarely want to hear what men have to say. It's always focused on the women, and that's why they become entitled, in my opinion. And they themselves don't even want to hear when a man opens his mouth. Men start talking about relationships and what they want in a relationship and things of that nature. And everybody, all the women are just take away the mics, take away the podcast. Why take away? They have a right to speak to it and to give their opinion. It's not all about you. But that's the problem with society. Women are at the forefront, but I think that might be changing. It might be changing slightly. You know what I mean? And I think this is, women are starting to have a hard time with being held accountable, with things not going completely the way they want it to go. How the narrative is kind of shifting in a sense. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. But kind of in a sense, I would say that, the focus is now not all centered around women, especially black women. And when I'm talking about black women and black men, because, black women we see have become entitled and they think the world should revolve around them and a man should do the same. And they're seeing that it's not happening. The men are changing. The men have shifted. The men are saying, no, we're not doing that. And so they're going to have to come down a notch, in which they, they already complain about, oh, a man just want to humble you. No, you need to humble yourself. Nobody don't have to humble. You need to humble yourself, because the way you think and the mentality is part of the problem. So, yeah, I just think that men, should be able to have spaces where they can speak their mind and say what it is that they want and not have to be shamed every time, they open their mouth to say something. And a lot of times what they're saying is the truth. And a lot of these women hate to hear the truth because they've been entitled and they've been used to just doing whatever they want to do and saying whatever they want to say. And the masses just, applaud them. And I just think that is a problem, because they'd be strong and wrong with the things that you're saying. But because it's acceptable and they can run with it, it just becomes the norm and what it is. And men's supposed to bow down to that, and men's supposed to just follow their lead and do what they say. That is all the way backwards. And now we're seeing the effects of that. It's not working like it used to for a lot of these women. I like to call the bonnet crew, because they all like to wear bonnets everywhere. It's not really working well for them. And so things are changing and they're not ready for it, because it's not going to benefit them any longer. They're going to have to do things to benefit themselves, and they can't fully depend on the men they complain about, to feel bad about not, catering to them. So you make some of these men feel shamed and make them feel like this is what they're supposed to be doing. And so some of them, you'll still have some of them doing it, but the majority of them are moving on and saying, nah, we're not dealing with that. So I think what she said in that video made a lot of sense. And it's the reason why a lot of men don't feel comfortable opening up to women. That's another thing. And why, women always talk about this safe space, as if they're the only ones that need a safe space. It's the entitlements. I'm telling you, it's the entitlements for me that's disgusting. As if men aren't human and they don't need a safe space to lay their head, or a safe space to be comfortable with the person that they're with, especially the people that say they love you the most, to be comfortable with them and not use their weaknesses to your advantage, because that's what a lot of women tend to do. So I think men also need a safe space, and they need to feel comfortable and safe too. Women always talk about feeling safe when they're the ones that you should be running from, child. They're usually the ones that you need to protect yourself against, because they're not the safe spaces all the time. This is why I say projection is real. If you pay attention to what women say, it is usually the things that they complain about is usually the things that they do. Oh, I don't want a controlling man. Oh, I don't want this. He's a narcissist because they are the controlling ones. They are the narcissists. They're the intimidated ones. They're the insecure ones. They notice to complain about this because this is what they are. So they don't want a man like them. They don't want somebody like them. It's a projection. You just listen to what a woman says. And if she's always complaining about something like that, hang around her a little bit. You'll see that she's exactly what she's complaining about. I mean, it's just what it is. At least that's what I've noticed. They're exactly what they complain about. And but they don't want to accept the fact that it's the reality, but it is. The very things they complain about is the very things that they do. Liars. Oh, I don't like liars, but would they be lying right through their teeth in front of you? We watched this play out on the Kendra G show. The lady sitting here talking about she don't like liars, and come to find out she lied about her kids. She lied about every damn thing, but she don't like liars. It is what it is. It's something I've observed for quite some time. And this is how I come to that conclusion, because I've seen it. I see women complain about so many things, and they're exactly what they complain about. So pay attention to what if you talking to a woman, pay attention to what she's complaining about, because that's what her concerns are, because that's exactly what she is. And just give it a little time and watch her and see. And you'll see everything that I'm saying is true. So yeah, I just think men need a safe place. The same things women talk about. Men need a safe place to feel comfortable and safe as well. It's not just about women. Hell, women, I will need a safe place, because see, it's like people who do dirt and hide their hands. They know what they're capable of, and they know what they've done. That's why they're worried about you doing it to them. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that. Oh, I don't want. Oh, I can't do this. I'm not gonna do, because you know what you would do. You know what you would do, and you assume because you do it, everybody else is going to do it to you. So that's why it's a problem for you. Oh, I don't like a narcissist because you know you're a narcissist. I don't like thieves because you know you steal. You get what I'm saying? They know what they're doing, and they don't want somebody to do it to them. That's why they know. So yeah, be mindful of that, because it is a true thing. So yeah, I thought what she said made a lot of sense. I just wanted to point that out. Now I want to play this video. I don't know if this man is trolling or not, but I found this very, very interesting and funny, a little comical, but I don't know if he's trolling, because I've seen some other videos of his, and I don't know if he's trolling. Could be, but check this out. What do y'all think of this? Check this out.
Bro, I've been sitting in this car for about 2 hours now because I refuse to go inside and be with my wife. Like, I hate her that much. The only reason why I'm with her is because I'm broke and I don't have nowhere else to go. Like, I can't afford to rent on my own, and she makes more money than me. So, I mean, if I was to get a good job tomorrow, I'd be gone just like that, with a woman I really want. But I can't afford the woman I want, so I got to settle for her, literally. If we're being honest, I think I'm doing her a favor, because she got low self-esteem anyway, and she bad built, so she should be lucky that I'm with her, if that makes sense. So I don't feel guilty about it, but I mean, some gotta give, because I can't keep doing this. Like, I could be with somebody I really want, but I refuse to do more. I'm kind of comfortable with being nothing.
What in the hell is this? What in the hell is this? It says husband admits he's only with his wife because she makes more money. If I had a good job, I'd be gone. I think he's trolling, but what do y'all think about this? Listen, if this is the case, at least he's being honest about it. It's nothing different from what women do. But when a man's, oh my God, they gonna drag him for filth. They done dragged him for filth. Dragged him for filth. Oh my God, he's a dusty. And see, this is what y'all do. This is what the men do. They're just with the woman for her money. He talked about her. Why would he do that? Well, it's no different from what they do. Why when a man, listen, I think he's trolling, but if it's real, I don't condone it one way or another. To be honest with you, I don't condone it whether it's a woman or a man using anybody. But far often, women condone the behavior of other women. So if this was a woman saying this, other women they wouldn't really have too much pushback. But when a man says something like this, oh my God, it's outrage. It's outrage. They're dragging the man. Lord, they're like, see, and blaming every man out there for this type of behavior. And he's probably trolling. Because I've seen some other videos of his, and he just do different topics. Of course, on TikTok, a lot of times they be making this shit up. But if men are doing this, I'm like, why would you be with a woman that you don't want to be with? But there are many cases where some men are with women because they can take care of them. That is a truth. That is true. Two things can be true at once. There are men out here who are with women who are with them only solely because they can take care of them. Just like there are women out who are solely taking care of them. They're only with them because of the money. And they know it. So if it's bad, shouldn't it be bad on all levels? Not just bad when men do it, but shouldn't it be bad when everybody does it? But excuse me, men and women. But I thought this was crazy. I don't know what to. It was kind of funny in a sense, but not funny, but funny in a sense, because I'm saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Women do it all the time. You only after men for what they can provide for you. But if you with a woman and that's the woman that you married and you hate her, that's horrible. Now I have to say that. I don't think you married her and you only with her because she can pay the bills and you don't have no money. Like, that's crazy. I don't think you should waste your time with that. But anyway, I do think he is trolling because I've seen some other videos of him saying some other crazy stuff that just doesn't make sense. But yeah, I just think that's crazy. Anyway, I don't condone that type of behavior. I don't care who it is. Successful MD says, why drag him? But celebrity finessing men, clowns. Thank you, Successful MD, and for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's just crazy. And I think sometimes men put stuff out here like this for the attention, just like women do things for attention and want to grab an audience and get people's perspectives and stuff because it brings people to their platform. But I think this is crazy. If you are in a relationship with a woman or a man and you're only there for what they can provide for you, don't like them, you can't stand them, you need to get out of that relationship and get your shit together. You got to get out that relationship and get your stuff together, because I don't think you should be taking advantage, because that's taking advantage of a person, taking advantage of somebody just because you don't have your stuff together. And there are people who do that. It's the same thing they say about men dating overweight women. I'm just saying. Because there's a saying that overweight women tolerate stuff, with the hopes of possibly getting a man. They're saying that, this is true for women who are overweight, that they accept more, they tolerate more because they know that their options are limited and they might not be able to find a man as easily as a woman who is more fit, and that they deal with stuff like that. That brings me to this video clip that I want to play for y'all in terms of that men tend to gravitate to women who are overweight because they know that those women will take care of them or do things for them. What's y'all thoughts on that? That makes me think of this video that I want to play for y'all real quick, because I saw a woman talking about this and it was almost as if she was accepting that narrative, like she was saying, and I'm like, why would you do that though? Why would you just accept that, as opposed to just getting your body in shape, like getting yourself together and not putting yourself in a position to where somebody can use you because they think that you're desperate? That's crazy to me. For real. That's crazy to me. It's in line with this video that I always forget her name. The goddess, Six the Goddess, had put out a while ago, where
we're gonna start being real with fat women and talking.
And this is the video, but it puts me in line of when Six the Goddess put that video about fat women, and people went in on her about it, but she was telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that if you don't want to be put in that position, maybe you should do something about it, or realize what's going on. Pay attention to what's going on. Don't just be so quick and ready to jump in head first with somebody who don't really care about you. Like, look at the signs. Pay attention to how a person moves and what they're saying. But listen to this. She says the reality of being fat and dating. Check this out.
about having the uncomfortable conversations that when you are big, when you're overweight, when you're obese, when you're whatever medical category you fall into that say, bitch, you big as hell, when are we going to start being honest and saying you attract a certain type of man? That's my thing. Let's just be honest. Let's be real, because we are looked at like we are targets. We easy prey. Niggas look at us like, oh, she green. She gonna fold because ain't nobody really, they may not say this to themselves consciously. It may not be a conscious thing, but in their mind, all they hear is, or all they see is that she's easy. That's it. That's because they assume you grow up in a society that already hates you, that programs you to believe that you're unlovable and not worthy of being chosen. So they assume they can come in and talk to you any kind of way and they can get what they want out of you. They assume it's going to be easy to get you on your back. They assume you're just going to be an easy catch, and that's it. That's why a lot of y'all end up in situations where men are hiding you. This is why we are typically in these dynamics where we're not shown off. We're with men who really don't like us, don't love us, really might hate us, because we think all attention is good attention, and it's not. These men don't love you for real. And unless he's a man who really comes at you a certain type of way, he's respectful, he's not talking sexually to you, he really holding himself and you to a different standard, he really coming to you on some boss stuff, like really being a man. If he's really doing that, or really being a human being, a good person to you, then you can say, okay, maybe he really does like me for who I am, and he's not just here to get what he wants. But we have to start having the real conversations and talking about how your body is going to impact the type of man you attract. And it's not to say that women who are straight size do not attract not shit men, but when you big as hell, or you just big, period, you're going to attract a certain type of dude at that level, and it's almost inevitable.
So what's your thoughts on that? I thought that was interesting that she was honest about it, because there are a lot of women who claim that that's not true. But, she seems to be a somewhat of a plus size woman. So it's interesting that she's being honest about it and forthright, as opposed to denying it, because a lot of women deny that this is even the truth, or if it's even a factor. But it definitely is. And I just think that, it's unfortunate, but that's how some men see overweight women. They don't really like them. They just notice, oh, big girls they're gonna deal with us because she don't have too many choices, so any man should do. And I just think that's unfortunate when it comes to that. But my thing is, I would not want to be in that position, and to me, it doesn't matter if you're, well, it matters, but in this case, it doesn't matter if you're plus size or not. You should still have common sense to know if somebody is baiting you on or whatever. Pay attention to their actions and don't just listen to what they're saying and them telling you what makes you feel good, but listen to how they move, how they act. The same way I tell women, women when when they're vetting a man, and men when they're vetting women, the same thing, because women lie, men lie, everybody can lie. So you have to prepare yourself mentally for potential lies. Like, pay attention to what people are saying, evaluate them. Don't just, swoon over things that they say to you that sounds good. And I think that's what people are so desperate in general to find love or get somebody, and they just listen to what you're saying and they make it sound good to you, and you fall for it. And then you realize it's not the right thing. No, don't do that. You have to be a little, a little more in depth about how you vet a person, and not just listen to what they say, but pay attention to what they do. Successful MD says big women can say no more excuses. Exercise. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, why would you even want to be in a position to be used just because, men think you're desperate because you're overweight? Like, I would feel bad about that. That would be bad within itself. So I would definitely want to just try to be healthier just because of that. I don't want to be put in a box or put in a position or a category of a woman that's an easy target just because I'm big and I'm presumably desperate. That's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat. I appreciate you. They feel comfortable calling men ugly and so forth. But take offense when called out for being too big. That's true. But I just think anybody, we should all be striving to be a better version of ourselves, to be better. If you're overweight, work out, start small, start with where you can start and try to get yourself in a better possible health condition, because being overweight is really not, and obese is just not, it's not good. It's not good. And I do think that if you're not BBW lover, if you just, most men aren't. They want fit women. I think it would make sense for women out there dating that you would try to get yourself in the most fit, as fit as possible, not only just for a man, but for yourself too. But it would give you a better opportunity to get somebody who's serious as opposed to the ones who think you're a joke and desperate and they just play you for a fool. So yeah, I think you should work on yourself in general, just because you should. So I want to put up this little clip here because this woman is going viral. It says mom faces backlash for how she celebrated her son's first birthday. So if you see the child is sitting there licking off the cake with the candle, and she's just in the back twerking, twerking, twerking. And it's going viral, and people are talking about it, and people are saying, look, everybody shouldn't be moms, and some people shouldn't have kids. And this, I mean, this is I don't even know what to say about this, but this is modern women. And these are the women who will probably want a 6-figure man who to pay all the bills and take care of her child and do all these things. These are the women out here expecting and feeling and believing that they deserve everything from a man. These are the ones out here twerking on your child's 1-year-old birthday, your child's birthday, and you're twerking in the camera hard too, bent over just hard, like trying to steal all of the attention. I don't get it, but this is modern women for you. These are the women who have all these super unrealistic expectations for a man, but they want you to take them seriously. Really? This is what we have out here. A lot of women are confused, delusional, just unrealistic in so many ways, and they're out here looking for rich men to take care of them and the kids. But you don't see a problem, no problem. They're twerking on tables, twerking on everywhere. It's just what I mean, is it just for fun? Do you think it's just for fun? And that's it? It's just this is what we see, more of what we see, and they don't really see why this is a problem. They don't see why it's a problem. And look, H Mob, hey queen, that's what they want you to call queens. They're queens. They're queens and they're princesses and they're all these things, but they last time I checked, though, aren't queens usually married? Aren't they usually married? A queen is married, right? Is a married woman. I mean, it's just ratchetity all over the place. A bunch of ratchet behavior, and then you want people to look at you in the highest regard and shame men for not wanting to take you seriously and be with you for a lifetime. Come on now. Y'all got to get the hell up out of here. It don't make no sense. It really don't. It doesn't make any bit of sense whatsoever. But this is what we see. And they see celebrities doing it. Somebody mentioned Glorilla, Meg Thee Stallion, all they do is shake and twerk. And they think that this is what they should be doing. And you don't see no shame in no shame in their game whatsoever. None whatsoever. But they're the queens of the society, child. Successful MD says, even the BBW say they deserve a 666 man. Right. I see it all the time. 300-400 pounds sitting up here thinking that you're the best thing since sliced bread, and a man should be treating you to 5-star restaurants and giving you his money and buying you this and buying you Chanel and buying you this and all this. Come on now, y'all gotta get the hell up out of here, child. Ain't no man entitled to do anything for y'all. Entitled, no man. I say this all the time. No man owes you a goddamn thing. He don't owe you a damn dime. Nobody owes you anything. Thank you, Successful MD. Nobody owes you a dime. Anything that you deserve is what you give to yourself. I mean, just be expecting the most, be big as ever. I mean, you ain't lying. Big backs across the world. Big backs of America, child. Expecting everything. I can see the big backs of America expects unrealistic expectations from men in America. The bigger the backs, the more they want. And you don't see a problem? And then there's nothing that you're not giving a man what he wants with that big back. He don't want that. He say he don't want a big back. So if you don't want a big back and you still trying to force it upon him, but you want him to give you the world, where they do that at? Where they do that at? So this idea of a man owes you everything and you don't have to give nothing, you can do whatever you want, it's ridiculous. It's preposterous. I mean, prosperous, however you say that word. And you just expect everything from a man and want to sell everything that he don't want to him. Everything that he doesn't want, you want to give him. They don't like weaves. They don't like makeup. They don't like none other the lashes. They don't like all this stuff, and y'all still trying to sell it on them and push it on them. Everything they don't want is what y'all selling, and thinking that we don't want a successful, entitled boss chick, because they know the mentality that comes with that. Oh, but no, there you go. Well, the men I'm successful, and most men don't make what I make, so why don't they level up? Why don't they keep working and keep working until they meet my standards? But you don't meet his standards. You want him to meet yours, but you don't meet his. I think it's weird. That's weirdo behavior. You want to push and sell something onto a group of men who say they don't want you. But because you're entitled, why don't they want? They should. Something's wrong with them if they don't want me. No. Ain't nothing wrong with them. They have a standards, and they have a right to want what they want, just like you do. If you don't want a man under 6 feet, you don't want a man making this amount of money, that's your right and your preference to have. But it doesn't mean you always get it. So you have a right to have your preference. He has a right to have his preference. If you don't get what you want, that's on you. That ain't on him. He don't have to try to level up and measure up to what you want. You should be trying to measure up and level up to what he wants. Because, by the way, the men are the ones who pick. They get to choose who they want. You can accept it or deny it, of course, but they are the ones who pick women for marriages, for relationships, long term. You know, this is why you have women picking themselves, because you have nobody else. Nobody else wants to pick you. So you pick yourself. Successful MD says she would give him a hernia and a surgery bill. Right. I get what you're saying, Successful MD. Hell. Thank you, Successful MD, once again for supporting the channel. Cases and Cams with Daniel Cunningham. Teach and preach at DeeDee. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a member, or for being a member. Thank you, Daniel. Child, it's crazy. You know, it's just a lot that be going on, y'all. Classy, what's going on? Classy Perspective says, even Keith Sweat had a video of him in concert. Yes, I saw that. I clipped it and I forgot about it. He sure did, Classy. Even Keith Sweat had a video of him in concert telling women he not begging anymore. He takes care of himself. Exactly. You know, and these are the high value men that they like to talk about. Thank you, Classy Perspective, for the support. I appreciate you. These are even the women, the men who are considered high value in these women's eyes are telling y'all they don't want what y'all looking for. They're not just gonna hand it over to you. They're not just gonna cater to you for nothing. He was like, he mentioned in that clip, he like his clothes ironed or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, he was saying something about he like his clothes ironed and he likes certain things done. A lot of these women ain't got time for that. They don't want to iron your clothes. They don't want to clean the house. They don't want to clean their own houses. A lot of these women walking around and living in filth. You hear me? They living in filth. They don't clean. They don't take care of their own houses, a lot of them. All they doing is running the streets trying to get a man, but you don't have any type of skills that would want a man to wife you up or be with you. Nasty, filthy. They don't know what they don't want to clean. They don't clean their own houses. They barely want to be home. They're out in the streets. If you're out in the streets 24/7, you ain't got time to work. You ain't got no job. You ain't cleaning your house. You ain't never home. You out here paving the pavement. Just be outside all the time. You're not really wifey, girlfriend, no type of woman, female material for a man at all. But society, I'll get on these posts and then, he got to pay all my bills and all that. Why? Why would he pay all your bills? Why? I did a video on a man talking about how and that a video will be coming out how men don't beg anymore. And that man so why would a woman beg? Why would a man beg to be with you when it's going to cost him way more? Why would he beg to come and pay your bills and take on your responsibilities and do all for what? What does that get him? Y'all done messed up the game because you put your box all on display. So now men ain't even, they don't even want that because they know it's been ran through and it's all over the place. So you can no longer use that idea. Oh, well, men don't beg. Like, beg for what? What are they getting? What are they getting for begging? They're not getting a feminine woman, a cooperative woman, a woman who ain't been ran through. What y'all offering is not worth it anymore. What they say, those type of women are on clearance rack now. Y'all on clearance, and these men don't want to buy from the clearance rack. On the clearance rack, they're not trying to. They don't want it. Y'all are not worth what y'all trying to make men think y'all are worth. You've given all your value and your worth away, but you still believe that you're valuable. You still believe that a man should beg for you, beg for your time, pay all your bills, do all this for you for what? And what is he really getting in return? You're for the streets. It's not like you're a virgin and you've never put your body out there and you're really looking for, and you understand relationships and you was taught how to be a wife and you want to be a real good woman to one man. No, y'all not like that. Y'all been ran through for the streets, and y'all the main ones talking about you need to pay my bills and all this because you're gonna give them some of the cooch. So you're gonna give them some cooch, so they gotta pay for it. Y'all are transactional situationships walking. That's what we have in 2025. A bunch of women who are out here saying all of these things because they think you want the box. So if you want their body, they're just basically telling you how much. And the price is paying their rent, paying this and that if you want to consistently get that. But why would men in general be so pushed and eager to get something that everybody else can have? And I would say it's only the desperate ones, the ones who are like, you know what, if she offer, and if you desperate enough, yeah, you might go out and pay her rent and do all this so you can get a little piece of that. You don't care who ran through it because you're desperate. You ain't really been getting none. So you need to get some bad. So this is your last resort. So you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna pay for it. Let me go ahead and give her this for her rent, and I'm gonna get me some. And at least I got some that time. You know what I'm saying? But men who don't have to do that, they're not looking over saying they're looking at you like, child, please. I don't want to touch you within a 10-foot pole. They don't have to do that because every man don't have to do that. But they just think that every man is desperate for the cooch and she look good. Ooh, I just want to give her all my rent money, give her all my check. Like what? Giving your checks to child, that's a whole nother story, child. But yeah, I just think that they really put too much stock into the vajayjay when the vajayjay is not worth it anymore. It's not like these are, you know what I'm saying, pure women. It's not like these women have a lot going for themselves and they're super attractive and they're beautiful and they are, they haven't been out, they haven't been ran through. No, they don't realize that the price is not the same anymore. They don't realize it. They just think, oh, it's vagina, and all you're going to get is low-hanging fruit. You're going to get men who going to come around. Yeah, they're going to bang you up. Yeah, there's some men who don't give a damn, but usually they don't have to pay. Usually the ones who know how to finesse that, they ain't got to pay shit. They ain't got to pay nothing. They're going to go and they're going to get you, and then you're going to be tripping, and then you might be giving them your check. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's just a hot mess, y'all. But, yeah, it's just crazy out here in these streets. But we're going to move on. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Men got to start telling women, I'm good. You can get a dog or a cat for that. Right. Right. Exactly. Women abuse their power and overplay their hand. They sure do. Yep. They sure do. But I don't know. They don't realize it. It's like, that's why I be saying we got some of the most educated women, but they don't seem like they're using those degrees in the right way. Like they don't get it. They don't get it. All right, let's move on. So I want to move on to something I've seen on, and this is in regards to the illegal migrants and the protests and all of that. I want to play this clip real quick. Hold on one second, y'all. So I want to play this and I want to get y'all thoughts on it. We're going to kind of pivot just a little bit. And And I want you to chime in the comments. Make sure you chime in the comments, you guys. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Here we go.
Okay with deporting every illegal person that's here?
No.
Why?
There's a lot of illegal immigrants here that are working their butts off for the life.
I don't care if they're working hard. The point is, what should the punishment be for breaking into a country?
Depends on the crime you commit after you break into it.
So to play that out, if someone comes into your dorm room uninvited and they do the dishes and laundry, they can stay?
If I'm not going to do my own dishes, heck yeah. They're doing my dishes for me. Cool. If they don't kill me, I'm not dead. It is what it is, man.
So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
What do you guys think about that? Leave your comments in the comments in the chat. And this is in Florida, right? So some people were outraged by this, that the fact that they said it on national TV, that if you do these things, we will delete you. And we're going to be notifying your families. There are some people who are outraged and they're shocked by this. And they can't fathom the idea that they're saying it so blatantly. You know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of our people, Black people, who are outraged by this and like they're shocked by it and confused by it. And then also I seen a couple of videos of people, Black people, not Black people, well, a white man and some other people talking about how Black people should engage and we should be involved with this, and we should, support this, because if we don't, then next it's going to be us. That's what they're saying. That's what they're okay. We can't afford to stand by and watch what's happening with these illegal migrants who have come into the country illegally. That if us as Black people, we don't get involved and we don't do anything, then next is going to be us. Well, I mean, God damn it, hasn't it already been us? Let me know if I'm wrong or not. Has it already been us and could possibly still be us? Because last time I checked, it's never stopped being us as Black individuals, right? Haven't this stuff? We've watched Black men get unalived by the police, accused of doing something, having weapons, and they didn't. How many unjust unalivings have we seen amongst our people over the years? Look at what this country is built upon. The systemic racism and I mean, this is us. This is what this country is based upon and deals directly with us. So what do you mean next is going to be us? It's already been us. And Black people are still being, it's still happening. Racially profiled, all this stuff, it's never stopped with us. So what do you mean? And so, and last time I checked, I didn't see, and I'm just going to be honest. I mean, I do know that there was a few Latin people or people who kind of supported us, but it wasn't a whole bunch in droves. Anytime you have videos surfacing of the illegal immigrants calling the black police the N-word, then that tells you everything you need to know, that a lot of these people do not really care for us. But you want us to unite and help something that will help benefit you when you're in distress, but nobody really comes to the aid of black people. I'm just saying in mass to support what's going on. I mean, with the Biden administration, all of the atrocities that we've seen that has happened to black people in general, black men, black women, and all of that, you go in and you approve an Asian hate crime bill. That blew me. That blew me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm just saying that tells you everything you need to know. But then these people are out here struggling and getting dragged by the police and getting deported, and they want black people. Why not Asian people or Indian people? Why are you trying to get everybody else to come support you? Why do we have to go and support a group of people who have not in mass supported us the way they're expecting us to support them? And you want people to support you on something that is illegal. So we got to go out here and put ourselves on the line to protest for illegal immigrants. When not too long ago, we watched a lot of the migrants that they let pour into the country take a lot of the resources that black people and other whites and American citizens in general could not even access. You had people coming in here by the thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not more, coming in, taking resources that Americans couldn't even get themselves. And yeah, we talk about government assistance and all that, but I think that is something that's reserved when Americans most need it. You lose your job or you have something, you should be able to get some type of help in that time frame. Of course, it's not meant to take care of your livelihood, but Americans who work hard and maybe get laid off or something like that need some help in between. To me, that's what it should be for, but not for people who are not citizens of this country who can come in and just take all of the resources when they were taking resources from children, Medicaid and resources from children who are citizens of this country, taking it away and said it was a mistake. But the migrants come in and they just give it to them in record numbers. I don't think that that's fair. And I think you got to be realistic. I think that anybody who comes into this country the right way and they go through the legal and the necessary processes to become legal citizens, I think they shouldn't be touched. You should be able to be here. You went through the proper channels. It should be okay. But if you're sneaking in and you're taking resources from the Americans who are from here, I think that's a problem. And I do think that having all those people here is going to put too much of a strain and a burden on our already struggling economy. Food prices are high. People are struggling to pay rent, housing, mortgages. Everything is going up. And if you just allow all these people just to be here, that is going to weigh heavily on our economic structure. We won't be able to thrive trying to take care of all these people. So people, listen, I want to get y'all thoughts on this. Classic Perspective says every country has immigration laws. In my opinion, you're free to burn our flag in our country. Try that in Russia. You'll find yourself deceased, folded inside a suitcase. Exactly. And I don't understand why in this country that's allowed. Yeah, they're burning the American flag in this country, fighting to stay here. Can you? You're fighting to stay here and you're burning the American flag while you're protesting to stay in this country. That should automatically be a reason to kick you out. I told y'all we in a twilight zone. We in an alternate universe. It just doesn't make any sense, Classic Perspective. Thank you for the super chat. Baby, it's crazy as hell. It's crazy as hell. It really is. I saw that and I did a video on it. But talking about this very thing, but this is ridiculous. And then you have Democrats on here trying to argue this point. And try to spin a narrative and make you feel sad and focus on, the kids are being separated from the parents. Well, if you come into the country illegally and they catch you, of course you're going to be separated from your kids because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. And then try to shame blacks to think that, we're supposed to be doing something more. Why? Ain't nobody, when I saw these black men getting deleted for no apparent reason, I didn't see a bunch of Mexicans coming out to the defense of that and saying, save our brothers and stop doing this. I didn't see that. Because I said in my video, which I don't know, that video will be coming up soon. Listen, if it was a bunch of us, a bunch of ninjas out here on the street talking about, we need to be here and fighting to be here illegally. Oh, I guarantee you the news will show everybody else saying, well, you need to do the right thing to get into the country. You should not be expecting to be here if you don't do the right thing. They'll be quick to tell us what we should be doing and why we shouldn't expect certain things. But when it comes to them, black people always have to go jump and be the super ninjas to help people who wouldn't even help you. So that's just my take on that. I just think I think it's interesting. Daniel Jackson reactions. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I don't understand why Americans don't want to help other Americans thrive and be successful, but will help illegals quick, fast, in a hurry. That's crazy, Daniel. Thank you for the super chat, Daniel. I appreciate you. Yeah, I just don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. Every time I see it and I try to, thank you once again, Daniel. I appreciate the super chat and the support. Every time I look at it, I try to make sense of it. And yeah, on one hand, you can look at it and you kind of feel sorry for it because I watched them. They didn't care. They dragging these women. They dragging them. They don't give a damn. They're manhandling these people. And it's kind of sad to see, but at the same time, I don't understand it. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, a lot of these people don't like black. A lot of people, like this girl said in the video, a lot of people come into this country and then they look down on black people. They come to our country and then they look down on us and act like we're beneath them. But you're busting and running and jumping to come over here just to think that you're better than us and look down on us and don't like us, but then you want us to support you? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Everybody hate the ninjas. Everybody hate the black people. But then when something comes up, you want us to support? No, that don't work like that. And like I said, when we're being slaughtered all over the country, and every time you look, a black man being shot in the back or something of injustice happening, I don't see them protesting with us in mass. I don't see them all over the place supporting us and speaking up on our behalf. So I just think it's interesting to see the videos that are out there, and it's interesting to see how, and there are black people who are speaking up on this, but then there are also some black people who are for this and condoning this. And I'm like, y'all crying about food stamps and welfare and all this kind of stuff in Section 8. But don't you know when a bunch of the people come over here illegally, they can apply for government assistance, and their population is much bigger than ours. So they take majority of the resources from you and your kids. So if you're complaining about that now, them coming over here, what are you look? People are complaining about that now, so you don't realize how those people being here illegally impact the resources that are meant for you as a citizen. In no other country can you do that. You cannot go, like Class and Perspective said, you can't go in another country and burn their flags and do all this. It's going to be a wrap for you. Other countries don't allow people to flood into their country the way we do. And then complain about resources aren't available for this and that. FEMA didn't have any resources for disasters. For people when the hurricanes and stuff hit, they had no money to help those people out. After you've given all the money overseas. That's crazy to me. But child, it is what it is. Classic perspective. And I think that's part of the reason why Trump got in office, because people saw this and like, hell no. But now a lot of those Mexicans and stuff voted for Trump. But I don't think they realized what was going to happen. I thought maybe they thought they was going to get a pass, that when Trump got in, he was going, you just see them, Donald Trump for president and all of this. And they just thought when he got in that he was just going to forgive all the illegals. Like he said he was going to, he did what he said he was going to do. So I don't know why people are shocked. I really don't. Classic Perspective says that actually makes their culture weak, begging the almighty neglectfuls to help them. Right. Thank you, classy perspective. Once again, I appreciate you, sir. Jontel says, if they care so much about families being broken apart, then make divorce illegal. Ooh, the money spent for those special cities was our reparations, baby. Jontel, thank you for the super chat. They don't want to do that. Scorpion Chris says, November 5th showed us the rest of the backstabbers we march for. Fix your own mess. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat, baby. Thank y'all so much for the support. Donald Trump didn't hide it. The popular vote didn't get didn't put Trump in office. The illegals build Trump's properties. Promise kept. I'm cool with it. No white. And 53% put his in office. Right. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's just crazy. And so they went out there strong and proud and they voted. And now you got it. But I don't know what they was thinking. Like he was gonna like just, I don't know what they thought, but now they're crying and they regret their votes. And they're like, oh my God, they thought he was gonna let the illegals just flood in and just take over. I don't know what they thought. I don't know what they thought, but now they're pissed about it and they're dealing with the consequences of it. I don't know what they thought. And I just think, you know, this conversation is tricky. People getting in arguments and fighting and stuff. I'm just like, no, but it is what it is. Y'all, you know, it's, I don't know. But I want to know y'all thoughts on it. I'm gonna open the panel up in a minute so you can give your thoughts on this. I want to hear your thoughts on this whole migrant situation, Donald Trump. I want to hear your thoughts on that. It's hot in here. But before we get to that, I want to play another clip for you guys. And this woman in particular. She was the woman I did a video on Kendra G talking about she wanted a man who makes $500K a year, but she ended up being on Ashley Dalton's channel as well. And I want to play what she had to say in a second and get y'all take on it. And then I'm gonna open a panel. If you want to come up and give your thoughts on any of this, I want to hear what you got to say, but I want to play this one first. But before we do, Daniel, thank you for the super chat. Once again, says Pink Book Lessons just did a video where ICE arrested all illegals in a food plant in Omaha. And guess what? The owner is an American. Listen, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. They are taking them, they're in court. They're getting them out of court. They're getting them on the construction sites. Listen, hold on. Oh my God. Listen, we have construction going on near our house. They're building a bridge or something. And when this happened, construction had to cease because a lot of the illegals went running. They went missing in action. They were rounding them up. They stopped. The construction is slowed. The funny thing about it is now I see Black construction workers out there because the ones that were out there were illegal and they just started running, or either they caught them, they rounded them up and they deported them. And so the construction slowed because they didn't have enough people to do the work. So now I see that there are Black construction workers out there working to build the bridge, to fix the bridge. So yeah, they're running and hiding and, things of that nature. And, yeah, they're catching them in court. They're in court to try to get their stuff together. They taking them from there. They're taking them from the construction. They're taking them for wherever they can take them. I mean, I personally have never seen it like this, which, during Obama's administration, they said he did the same thing, but it wasn't a big deal. You didn't see protests when it was happening under under Obama's administration. But why is that? Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you. What's going on? Kennard, the DJ. I hope I'm saying it right. I never can remember which one. This is crazy. No burning American flag. Yeah, successful. Yeah, I don't see any American lining up for those jobs. And also, I saw too how they were mad that I saw a report that they were mad that Black Americans didn't want to pick apples and do those jobs. And they were willing to pay. But nobody wants to do that because they're short of people to do those kind of jobs. Nobody wants to do that type of work. So baby, it's just crazy out here. Yeah, the protests are getting crazy. And this is why the police are saying, hey, we're not playing with y'all. We're going to do what we need to do. If this continues to happen, I just, it's sad to see, but I mean, listen, no other country in the world, you can do this. There's no other country where you can it's stiffer rules to get into other countries. You just can't go over there and overstay your welcome. They will kick you out in a heartbeat. I don't understand why in America it's just that way. This is why people like to come here, because it's supposed to be the land of the home, the brave and the free. And you can just come here and do whatever you want. And then when it's time, when laws change and they start saying, oh, okay, we're not allowing this. Now they're out here mad and protesting and crying and doing whatever. And this shouldn't even be an issue. See, Irving, thank you for the super chat. Says they can't get away with that in Europe. Right. Over here, they deport fast. If they get a hint of you not working, the ones who move to Europe now. The ones who move to Europe, no. Yeah, I mean, no other country but here. See, Irving, and that's crazy to me. I don't understand why that it's allowed. Once again, just for the record, I think that people who go through the necessary channels to become U.S. citizens, to do what's right, to follow the protocol, and you become U.S. citizens, those people should not be deported, because there are reports somewhere that that they're deporting U.S. citizens. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't condone that. I think once you've done the right things to get to that status, you should be okay. But there are way far more people who are in this country illegally, and they've been here for 20 and 30 years. So this is their home. So they couldn't fathom the idea of being taken out of here, even though they're illegal. So why is it that way? Why are they allowed to be here for so long and nobody has checked that and said no and rectified the situation to now it's to this point? Thank you, C. Irvin. I appreciate you. It's crazy though. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's move on, y'all. I want to get y'all thoughts. I'm gonna put the link to the open discussion panel if you want to come up and give your thoughts on it. But I want to play this clip really quickly first. Here we go.
Miami.
Welcome. I see you're making your rounds on these shows. Show to show, you making your rounds, Yeti.
Yes, but I need to ask you a question for real.
Hold on 1 second. Do you consent to be on the live and potentially all platforms?
Yes.
Okay. What brings you here now? You want to go viral on this platform?
No, I just have a question for you because I've been following you a long time. Okay, so if I tell you today that I want a man that makes 500K a year, what thoughts do you have?
I don't have thoughts. That's your life. That's your business. So you want a 500K man? I saw that. You went viral because you went on a show and you said you wanted a man who makes 500K, right?
Yep.
And what happened? What was the backlash that you received?
So the backlash I received from the lady, right? First of all, I feel like and number two, the backlash I got from her was, oh, am I making 500K? And then she went on to ask me, oh, if you want a guy with 500K, what happens to other guys that were making 500K? And I was like, I feel like our question was so irrelevant. Like, if I'm telling you that's what I want, that's what I want.
Okay, okay, in all fairness.
Now she's talking about Kendra G, because this woman, I did a video on her on this in a live. We talked about her, the Bonnet Brigade, talking about a man who makes 500K. And Kendra was asking her, have you ever dated those types of men? And she said, yes. I don't know if y'all remember. And she was like, yeah, but why you ain't with one of them? And so she took offense to it. So now she's on Ashley's show saying the same thing. And because she didn't like what Kendra said. So now she decided to go on Ashley to talk about the same thing. Successful MD says, punish the rich. They pay for them to be smuggled. Ooh, child. Thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. But let's continue, y'all. Listen to this.
Have you dated a guy who made 500K?
Yes.
That's valid.
Yes.
That's a valid question.
Yeah.
I can't say that's not valid.
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it is valid. But then it's like, why is she asking me, oh, so why are you here now?
But if okay, Yeti, we're gonna be logical and not emotional. If you
I'm
dated
emotional, I'm being logical.
You're going off, you're going to 10. If you dated a guy who made $500,000, then why aren't you with him? That's a valid question.
There were things that happened. And I choose to not disclose that. For her to be picking me like, oh, what is it? No. Let's focus on the point. If you're like, coach, go outside and go and get the man that is making the 500K for me. Go and fetch him.
Is it me, or did she not have an accent on Kendra's video? I should have pulled the other video. She's talking with the accent here, but on the Kendra video, she was not sounding like this. How do they do that? How do you decide when you want to bring your accent out or not? Like, why they talk more American and then they switch up? Like, how do you do that? Like, why isn't it consistent? So is that code switching? Is that what you would call code switching? When you decide when you want to use your accent, and then I guess when you go on a job or you want to seem more American, you don't do it. You switch it. I don't know, baby. It's funny. Let's continue.
Okay, but you asking me, was it this? Was it that? Was it that? Was it that? And then on top of that, I feel like it was kind of shady for her to be like, oh, side eye. You don't know how much I'm making, and I'm not going to disclose it on here. Like, I don't know, but I also know that whatever you want is possible. And to me, 500K, there's a lot of that, like you said earlier, there's a lot of content creators making well over 500K. Yes, I know the number is minute.
Yeah, but do they want you, ma'am? Do they want you? Yes, there are people. There's a small percentage of a lot of content creators, streamers. Oh my God, them streamers, Kai Cenat, DDG, and many others, they make a lot of money. But do they want you? That's all. That's it. It's not about. And this is where I'm going to defend Kendra G, because she asked the question. Yeah, well, Kendra is crazy sometimes, but she has a right to ask you that question. You want a man that makes 500K. That's not a whole bunch of men. But do they want you? If you're in the presence of these men who make that kind of money, why haven't they picked you? And if you was in a relationship with one of them, whether you want to disclose what happened in a relationship, that's up to you. Y'all are not together. So did you walk away or did he walk away? I don't. So it shows that it's not that easy for women to attain these types of men for serious committed relationships. I'm talking about putting a ring on that finger and marrying you. That ain't really happening. These men want something. And a lot of these women, yes, you have a right to date who you want. And if you come in contact with a man who makes that kind of money, then why is it so difficult for you to score one? That's all they're saying. And it's logical to ask that question. That's a logical question. A lot of these women, most women want a rich man. Come on, let's be honest. Women want rich men, most of them. You want a man who makes good money, who can take care of you. But why is it that a lot of them are struggling to get a man to take care of them and be with them for real and be with just them? Because let's be honest, a lot of men who make that kind of money, they're not trying to be with one woman. Because they have the pick of the litter. They can pick because they know, and the only reason they have the pick of the litter, in my opinion, is not because they're such great men. Let's be real. It's because women care about the money over personality, over, them being a good person. Women don't give a shit about that. They care about the money. So they know, because the women are the ones who set the stage. Y'all care. A lot of women care about the money. You care about the money, the status, the trips, what he can provide for you. So any man, he could be 3 feet tall. He could be 3 feet tall. Hell, and if he got the money and he willing to spend it on you and make you one of his groupies or one of his followers or one of his, you're on his roster. Yeah, the women, y'all set the stage. Y'all will go and be a part of that just to get a few dollars or some bags, some red bottoms, and to live in his mansion. Women will more than likely go for the lifestyle. What's that saying? Oh, you rather cry in a Bentley than cry in a Toyota or something like, or a Honda. So it's the women who make these men these considered high value men, in my opinion, because y'all are following the money trail. So if he got money, he could be ugly as all outdoors. He could be short. He could have a nasty attitude. Y'all gonna go surround yourself around him and cater to him because y'all know he has the potential to change your life. Y'all make these men high value in terms of why they have the pick of the litter, because y'all all want the same type of man. If more women had more, qualities in a man, and it wasn't just about money, you'll see that these men wouldn't have as many options as y'all say, as they do. Because if women were more selective and didn't just care about money and we're not looking for a man just for money, if you cared about personality, is he a good person? Is he going to treat you well? If he's looking for commitment, you would see that would weed out these men. They would just have money, but they wouldn't be able to just grab any chick, and that they want. Because if the women are selective and pushing back and saying, nah, I got to get to know you. I'm not just going to because you got money or because you're famous. All of this would change. Once again, women complain about the men that they can't get. They complain about the men, just complain about men, period, but don't realize that women set the stage for how all this turns out. I'm just saying. And once again, in my personal opinion, women have the power, but they don't use it the right way. Y'all just care about lifestyle and traveling and all of this shit, and that don't get you nowhere. And when he done with you, on to the next, and you back to square one, looking for another man, looking for another high value man. I'm just saying, let's continue.
However, there is that money is being made.
But Yeti, I want to ask you this: why is it bothering you? Why does it bother you at all? Why do you care?
What do you mean? Why do I care?
Like, why does it upset you? Why do you feel like, I have to talk about it? Why do you care? If this is what you want, this is your reality, who cares what people think is what I'm saying. Why does it bother you?
Right, and you're right. You're right. I actually don't care, but like I'm more so like, okay, let me get from another woman perspective, because I know I wouldn't say you guys are the same. You guys are completely different. You give women advice and apart from dating, right?
Right.
I just feel as though I respond back. If I cared, I would be going back and forth with people on Instagram, which I don't care. I just feel as though her response was like more of attacking, and then when she posted the video, right, it was more of shady, like side eye. And then I'm just like, what makes you think? What's the point of you asking me what I make in a year?
Well, I don't know how other people's show works, Yeti. I'm not here to gossip about other people's show.
Of course.
I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to answer level up and advice. That's it. So you would have to ask her out of
shit. She's trying to start some shit, y'all. She's trying to be messy and she's talking about Kendra G. Kendra G, why would she ask me? That's what messy people, you go back to another woman and why would she ask me this question and try to get Ashley to say something and responds negatively? Don't buy good, Ashley. I respect that. Don't buy into the BS. Like, stop it. That's how you look. Kendra has her show. She runs a certain way and everybody else runs theirs a certain way. She asked the question she asked for a reason. If you didn't like it, you should have just hung up. This is what I used to say about people who went on Kevin Samuel's show. If you don't like his questioning and how he is, why the hell y'all keep going over there? It's like they were compelled to go. You were compelled to go because you know what he was saying had some validity, but you didn't like it, but you were compelled to go anyway. It's like you wanted to go and get some advice from him, but then when he gave you the advice, you didn't like it, see? But you know it was the truth. And now all of it's just exploded. All of what he was saying has come to fruition. We see it happening in real time. So, I mean, listen, you can't go on somebody's show and then complain about the questions that they ask you because you don't like it. Just don't go find if you could get if your income doesn't matter, if you are around men who make $500,000, if you're around the so-called high value men, then go get one. You don't need to go on a dating show. You know what I mean? If you don't need to do that because you can get the man. Your income don't matter. None of what anybody else says should matter because you know you can get it, and it's possible. You are surrounded by them, so go get them. I said go get them. And I think that's what Ashley's saying. Why do you care about what anybody's saying? If you're surrounded by these people, go get it. The reason why people come to these shows because they are not. Let me repeat, they are not getting the outcomes that they think they should. And they don't know. And so that's why you go on there. If I could get a man and I don't have no problem getting a man, why would I go on a dating show to get a man? Why would I go on a show to get a man and ask somebody else advice on how to get a man if I know I could get one? And I get one, I don't need that show. See what I'm saying? It's because they're not getting the outcomes that they're saying they're getting. Let's continue.
But my advice to you is if this is the life you want to live, these are the guys you want to date, it doesn't matter what other people say. Exactly. What I 100%. Say, what she says, what the internet says. It 100%. Really doesn't matter.
100%. And I'm going to also add to this. I didn't come on the show to bring up that. I just wanted to ask from your perspective, like, because I know you give people advice.
Absolutely.
I didn't even come up to discuss that. My main goal was to ask you, as a woman that gives advice as well to young women, if I come to you, hey, Ashley, I want the guy that makes $500K a year on Miami.
Okay. Well, are you putting yourself in those environments? Have you dated those guys, right?
100%.
Do those guys want you?
100%. But things happen. You have to move yourself out of that situation. I'm not going to waste my youth just because, So I move on. I'm not. I don't know if you remember, I was also on this. I was also on yet. I need to book a 101, but we're not gonna keep this too long.
Alrighty.
But long story short, and I was on. I don't know if you remember our conversation from last time, but
yes, I remember.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to leave that to the side. I had to move myself from that situation. But long story short, Sha.
And you know what? I will say this. I know the feeling of going viral about anything, right? I know it can be a lot to go viral. There's good, there's bad. I get it. You know, there's 100 people commenting about you and who you are, what they think you are. So I get how it can bother you for some time, you know, but try not to read the comments. Try not, you know, just take a break if you need to from social media.
But you know what, Ash? That's not my first time going viral. That's why I'm not. I didn't go.
Okay.
It's not my first. I have somewhat of a platform. That's not the only video that went viral. I had a video that went viral with my dad, crying to my dad, I don't want kids. Crying to my dad that like marriage is not my end goal. You know. So that video is actually nothing. My whole point of that video is like some people's mentality is just very limited. If you limit yourself at a certain mentality, you're never going to level up to whatever you want to attain, right? Or you're never going to level up to whatever you can attain yourself. If you put yourself in a certain bracket, like for example, if I say yes, I want a guy that has 500K, I can get the guy that has 500K. I just came on a show, I was supposed to come on a show. I've had a guy that makes 500K, and me being Nigerian, I hate to say this, but 500K, okay, what is like? To me, that's just to me, Sha.
But if it's not that much to you, it shouldn't be a big problem with getting somebody who has that. See, I think people take that approach, and this is not a new. I've seen women talk like this a million times, and this is I'm very familiar with the nature of women. Women, it's like the accountability level is so low. You don't want to be accountable for yourself, and you get mad when somebody strike a nerve about something that you know you talking shit. You know what you're saying is BS. If you can get a man, there's nothing to do it. Why don't you have one? The actions speak louder than words. A lot of women talk in circles. You just keep talking. Shut the hell up and go get it. It's not about somebody limiting you. Nobody else can limit you but yourself. If you have a goal in mind of something that you want to achieve, you have to put in the work to achieve it. What the hell? It is not based on what anybody else says or whatever. It's all about you, boo. It's all about you. If you want a man who makes that kind of money and whatever you want, it's up to you to go after it and get it. It ain't got a goddamn thing to do with what anybody else says and anybody else. People can't limit you. You can only limit yourself because it's based on what you do. Just talking don't get you nowhere. You talk too much. Talking ain't get you nowhere. Actions speak louder than words. Go do what you deem necessary. If anything, you should be asking, okay, so what you need for, first off, if you want something, just like y'all, they want to go get this education, these degrees and all these things, you have to put in the work in order to achieve that degree, right? You have to take the necessary courses, do the work to make sure that you get that degree. Well, it's no different when it comes to relationships and men. If you want a certain caliber of man, you need to do the research when you go to school and you do your work. You got to do research, right? You need to research what these men want. If you are around these potential men that you want to be with, why aren't you investigating and doing the research of what these men like? If you're around them, do you have conversations with them? Ask them about dating. Are you in a relationship? Or no? What do you look for in a woman? Why don't you do your investigative work? Do your research on what these men want, what they like, and then prep and prepare yourself for what these men might want and like. I think a lot of these women are just talking. Once again, it's a bunch of talk and no action. And they think that these men just gonna look at them and want them just off GP, just general purposes. You gonna attract this man, and a lot of y'all don't. You might be around them, but ain't none of them looking at you like saying, "Ooh, she hot. I want to talk to her. I want to get to know her." No, and y'all, and just because you have a minute with a man who has some money or who you deem high value, doesn't mean he really wants you seriously. And this is why they don't really like to talk about that, because it wasn't nothing serious. We've seen women talk about their experiences with a certain so-called celebrity or high value men, and you was just a little side piece. You was just a little action he chose to play around with for a second. He wasn't really dating you. And this is what we tend to find out. They're not really dating. These men really didn't take them seriously, and that's all they had. But if you should be asking, what do you need to do to get a man to take you seriously for real? And the type of man that you want. What should you be doing to attract that type of man and get him to take you seriously? You know what I mean? Because just being around them is not enough. Because if they're looking at you, but they don't see a potential there. They're not interested. So I just think they're asking the wrong questions and you're doing the wrong things. And this is why you're not getting the outcome that you want. You could want what you want, but what you want gotta want you. I keep saying that. What you want gotta want you. So wouldn't it make more sense to figure out what they want? What do they really want for wifey material? What do you want? Because you could change your body, you could change certain things, but if he's just physically not attracted to you, there's nothing else you could do, boo. He just don't want you. He's not attracted to you. There's nothing, you got to move on. Got to go somewhere else. Scorpion Chris says, if I made $5 an hour, I wouldn't choose her. She's FOS. I know what you mean. Damn. If you made $5 an hour, you would want it. Okay. All right. Shout out to you, Scorpion Chris. Listen, that's your preference, boo. You have standards. All right. Hell, I ain't mad at it. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, shit. He said if he made $5 an hour, he wouldn't want her. Hell, that's your preference. So that's what I'm saying. If you make $5 an hour looking at her, you don't want her. What I mean, come on. It just might be that those men just aren't interested, baby. And you shouldn't get mad and get in your feelings because that's what it is. You could want what you want all day, but they ain't got to want you back. And so instead of focusing on the ones that don't want you, why don't you go focus on somebody who might want you? But they focused on the money, and this is why they'll be by themselves. I'm just saying. Let's continue.
That's just for me.
Okay. So you're saying that's chump change.
It's chump change. And then what is actually bothering me was the reaction, the mindset of the person, and the reaction that I got back from the feedback and the mindset that I received back. It was kind of low-key shocking. That's why I was like, okay, like if you think 500 is so much, it just made me think like, well, what have you dated? It also made me like, I didn't have a chance to ask her that question, but
yeah, but we can, out of fairness, you would have to go back to her platform and talk about that. You know, you would have to discuss that with her. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Again, we're here to level up. We're here to just talk about leveling up. Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty, darling. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye, honey.
Baby, listen, this is why these women aren't going to get what they want, in my opinion. You're not going to get what you want because you're delusional. You know, there aren't that many men in this country who make $500K a year. There aren't. The average man in general in this country makes what, about 50,000, if I'm not mistaken, y'all? Let me know in the chat. About 50,000. That's black, white. That's every man, right? The average man in this country makes about 50,000. There's only a small percentage of first off, there's only a small percentage of women who make 100K or more, and there's a small percentage of men who make $500,000 a year in this country. A very, very small percentage of men. So it's not a whole lot of men who make that kind of money. And it's like they're stuck on stupid. If you dated a man who made that kind of money and it didn't work out, it shows you it's more than just the money. Why are you still looking for the money when everything else that you require in a man is not there? Why is the money? And I'm not saying you have to go low. You know, most women want a man who can take care of them. That's just facts. Every woman wants a man who can take care of them. But at the same time, you should, if you're looking for marriage and all that, you got to understand that you got to work together. You got to work together. You should. And if you care about your man, you want to work with him. You want to work with him in a capacity. This is your life together. It's not your life, his life. It's your life together. And then you're building a family. You want to work together. That it works better that way, in my opinion. Not about what I got, what you got. Let's what we got together and let's do the damn thing. But these women want stuck on the money. And then if you met somebody who made the money, that still didn't work out. So why you still focus on a number? She the one brought up 500K. If that's chump change, why didn't you bring up more? Because they can't find that. You're not going to find that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just stupid to me. Only Nigerian scammers call that chump change. Ooh, baby, listen, them damn Nigerian scammers or whoever they have, I came in contact with one of them, baby, and I let them have it. You understand what I'm saying? Because I get so tired of them trying to call you up and scam you, talking about your bank and shit like that. Oh my God, I was just like, now you got to be. I said, now this is sad. I told them, look, you know what? Why are you trying to steal? I just let them know. Why are you trying to steal? Like, they be calling you up, acting like your bank and stuff and think you don't know. Like, nobody at my bank talks like that. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be mean, but come on. Yeah, they out there. And they be ready to scam and they won't try to, call you out. Well, y'all the ones out here trying to steal from people with money. Come on now. Thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you. Child. Baby. Be trying to scam on every level. Got whole buildings dedicated to scamming people. It's just ridiculous, baby. Anyway, yeah, that was crazy. I think this woman got in her feelings because she didn't like what Kendra said. And I don't know what she was just in her feelings. And a lot of women get like that. A lot of women get in their feelings when the truth hurts. If you don't have to, if you're in the presence of all these men that make all this money and you can get one, go get one. Go get one. That's it. You don't need to be on any show to ask how to get this kind of man. If you're around them, see, the issue for a lot of women is they're not in the vicinity of these type of men. And they're wondering where to find them in, some women, or how do you get them? Because most women have never encountered a man or had a man show interest in them for serious committed relationships. And so they're trying to find out how to get a man who makes that kind of money to show interest in them because they've never been around them. Even, and so if you at least have the opportunity to be in the vicinity of a man who makes that kind of money and you still can't get one and keep one, then whose problem is that? I don't think anybody can. There's nothing anybody can do or say to help you get that outcome. It's you. You have to help yourself get that outcome. That's just that. So I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand. So yeah, once again, a lot of these women are delusional. And then you get an attitude when you hear the truth, the same way they did on Kevin Samuel's panel. They go on there, you don't like what he's saying. You get an attitude and want to cuss him out and get mad at him and hate him for the truth. But rest in peace to this man. This man has been gone. How many years it's been now? 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. And the ish done hit the fan. And a lot of these women complaining. Now they're talking about the men don't even want to look at them. They don't even approach them. They don't want to deal with them. And now they mad. And your outcome is still the same. There are several women who have been on Kevin Samuel's show who are still single to this day, still complaining about a man, still saying they can't find one, and now they're choosing to be single. You're only choosing to be single because you don't have any other options. That's it. Your options have run out. Nobody is checking for you. Nobody wants to be with you. And I think it makes sense to be happy with where you are. I don't think you have a choice. And if you have a choice, at least be content with where you are. Be happy about your singleness and live your goddamn life. If you can't get a man at 45, 50, whatever, enjoy the rest of the life that you have. It don't make no sense to sit back and be miserable and complaining the rest of the years that you have. Enjoy the rest of your life by yourself if that's what you got to do, because you ain't gonna be able to force no man to be with you. And that goes for men too. Men, if you can't find a woman that suits your needs or whatever, just enjoy the rest of your life. I don't know. I feel like it's easier for a lot of men to do than women, because women, we crave companionship. We want attention. We want somebody like that. This is why so many people are on social media, because so many women are on social media, because they crave attention. Women crave attention. We all like attention. Ain't nothing wrong with a little attention here and there, but then they take it too far. And then on top of that, a lot of women are superficial and they're entitled. So you want a man, but you want him on your terms. You want him on the way you want him because you've been single for so long. This is why I also think it's best to marry when you're younger, in your 20s, because you haven't spent a whole look. You go from your parents' home, right? You either go to college or whatever, or go to work or whatever you do, right? But with your parents' home. To me, I think that's why it makes sense to go from your parents' home to being married into the home with your husband. And you guys create your own family dynamic and you build up on that. This notion that you can't do that and somehow when you get married younger, it's inevitably going to end a divorce. I think it's something that they want you to believe so that it would deter women from wanting to be married younger. When I think in actuality, it does the opposite. Because when you build your life with the person, you become accustomed to that lifestyle. And it's not hard, because to me, the longer you wait to establish a stable relationship or a marriage with a man, it's going to be even harder for you to do so the older you get, because you're stuck in your ways. You don't know if you're going to want to live that. When you're used to running here, going there, having multiple men that you can talk to and all these male friends, and you could talk to them when you want to, and you can move how you want to. The older you get and you're used to doing that, it's going to be difficult for you to be in a marriage with one man where you have to cut off everybody else. It's going to be same with men. I think it goes for both. But I think when a man, and this is where men and women are different, I think when men decide, hey, I want one woman, this is who I want, I think it's easier for them to do that. Especially if he really is committed to this woman, he really want to be with her. I think men make a decision and say, nah, I'm done with that. They could cut it off. This is going to be my wife. This is who I love. This is who I'm going to be with them, create a family, and that's it. And they move forward. But for women, I just think anytime you wait till you in your 30s and 40s and you've been moving the way you want to move, it's going to be very difficult to be in a relationship with one man or married, because this is why they leave. They itching for the streets again. They want to be able to move the way they want. They don't want to have somebody to answer to. You don't want to have somebody that you got to consult with for things that you need to do. You don't want to consult with a man about your finances and where you're going. They don't want to do that because they've been so used to just getting up and going and moving. You know what I mean? And this is the same thing we talk about when it comes to women having children. When you wait later in life to have children, when you've lived the majority of your life single and just running around and doing things on your time, when you have a baby, a lot of women struggle with that, because now your time, you're not on your time. You gotta worry about this child. You got to move differently, and a lot of people can't deal with that. So it just speaks to why, one of the reasons as to why it's more difficult for women to get older and establish stable relationships versus when you do it young. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, oh, they just want to, he just want to take my youth. No, because I mean, why are women so worried about one man taking their youth when y'all got a roster of men taking your youth, just going in and out with no type of stability? Like, come on, y'all still giving y'all youth to a bunch of niggas who ain't really caring about you. So is that the better way to go? Just go out and have your so-called fun screwing Tom, Dick, and Harry, Pookie, and Ray Ray, and Mo, and that's good? That can't be good, because they're regretting it. And then you get older and you realize, I want to settle down. Where's my partner? Where's my person? Where's my person? Like, come on, you missed them. You missed that window. You know, you've hit the wall. You missed the window of where you will find your person. You probably ran into your person, but he wasn't good enough because you wasn't ready. So you was dipping in and doing it with all these people. And then now you want a specific person and you're not even ready. And now you're not as, attractive as you were then. So you miss your person, boo. So I'm just like, come on now. And it's, once again, I don't be trying to be shady or nothing like that. It's just the truth. And I just think women need to understand this. Like, listen, no, not every man out here is a good man. I say it all the time. This is to please the women who like to say, oh, all you do is bash women. No, I'm not bashing women. I'm telling you know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all the truth. And you got to be open to it. No, this is to appease the women. Every man you run into is not a good man, to appease the women. So y'all understand, I get it. But y'all got to understand, all of y'all ain't good women. That's the part y'all don't like. Oh yeah, girl, just tell them then just they ish and this and that. Oh yeah, let them have it. But come on now. But when I say all of y'all ain't good women, now y'all, she's still bashing women, but baby, call it as you may. Because all of y'all ain't good women either. So if we can accept over here on this channel, on this platform, that every man is not a good man, we got to also accept that every woman is not a good woman. We don't do that. Oh, all women are right, all women are great, and all the men ain't shit. No, I don't do that over here. So yeah, this wouldn't be for you if you think that, because that's just delusional. That's just an unbalanced, ridiculous mindset. That's just not, I'm not doing that. Because I have sons, I have daughters, and I'm no way I'm going to sit here and say, all my sons ain't shit and all my daughters are everything. Are you goddamn crazy? That sounds delusional and stupid. That sounds like a crazy person. So no, I'm going to keep it in the middle. Because honestly, when I say stuff about men, a few men, not very many, a few men push back. They don't like it. But the real backlash is from the women. This is why I say the women are way more delusional than the men, even from my responses, because the men might push back or have an opinion, but it's not the same as the women. The men have a little bit more understanding of where I'm coming from. They can understand if I say, you can't be a deadbeat and want all this from a woman. I think the men understand. The women, oh, you're hating women. No, you hate your goddamn self. You hate your goddamn self because you don't have the understanding with all this education. You done went to school, got all these master's degrees, PhD, and you still dumb. That ain't my fault. That ain't my fault. That's your fault because you lack the basic understandings of a human being. Like, it don't take a PhD to have common sense, to have the basic understanding that, hey, this goes both ways, that you can't possibly think that a woman does everything right and all the men in the world, all over the world are just horrible creatures, just bad. And you can't see that there are a lot of horrible deadbeat women out here too. Come on, y'all delusional, and you want people to think that way, but not here. You're gonna get a balance over here because I'm not delusional. You get what I'm saying? And you just gotta look at, if you have children, which most of y'all do, because we got a high rate of single mothers. So I know some of y'all got sons and you got daughters. Do you look at your son differently from your daughter? Do you think your son gonna be a deadbeat ain't shit man and your daughter's gonna be the best PhD master's degree ever and you raising them? So what are you teaching them? Are you teaching separate things to one versus the other? Like, come on now, don't be stupid. So that's where I'm at with it. So yeah, you're not going to get that delusional talk over here. And if you can't take it, oh well, so be it, baby. Because there's no way I'm gonna be like, I'm never going to have that mentality because I'm not stupid. And I understand that we're all human beings. You know, y'all wanted and fought for equality. Now it's here. Now you want to be superior. You fought for equality, but now you want to be superior to men. Come on now, stop. It doesn't make any sense. So that's my thoughts on it. Make sure you hit the like button, y'all. What's going on, Michael? What's going on? Classy, put a picture on your.
Hey, how you doing now?
I'm good. Classy perspective. If that's you, put a picture on your avatar. What's your thoughts, Michael? How you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. Good to see you again, Dee. I want to say this about the migrant situation. It's only fair that they get kicked out of the United States of America because you can't just walk into somebody else's already established country and then just decide to just take over and then jump. I tried to use this analogy when I was talking to my stepfather one time. He said, imagine there's a line, all the line is filled with American citizens. You can't just stop the line and then let a whole bunch of migrants get in front of the American citizens and take away what they've been standing in line for the longest. That doesn't make any sense and it's not right.
Right.
So I think that what Trump is doing is for the good of the country. You can't let a whole bunch of people come into one country because it will destroy that country. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It will destroy that country. And so it's just like Crimson Cure. I'm sorry, I know you get tired of me quoting her, but she said it best. She said it will destroy that country if we let a whole bunch of people come up in here unannounced and they can just come whenever they want to. They'll be taking up space. They'll be taking their jobs from people who already been here. It'll cause confusion. The crime rate will go up. The country will get out of control, and eventually the country will destroy itself. It's like having a bunch of food. You can't just fit a whole bunch of food in your mouth and then expect not to explode or go to the bathroom right after. So it's only fair that we kick these migrants out. We have to prioritize American citizens first before we can prioritize anybody. But as to this other situation, and I want to say this with kid gloves. I know this gets on you. I know this conversation get on your nerves sometimes, DeeDee. And unfortunately, it's not going to get any better as time go on. It's not going to get any better. It's just that women have to understand that their currency is let's say for example at the beginning of the year, um, young lady got on the Antoine Daniels show talking about when the nerd was in the school, nobody wanted him. But now that he's a CEO in real life, now the same woman that didn't want him now, she's a baby mama and nobody wants her. Women have to understand that
You going in and out, Michael. Go ahead.
tax. If you don't have your, if you get the hottest thing popping no more, or you're and a CEO don't want you on the same dude that was a nerd in high school, that's Bill Gates, Elon Musk, or something like that. You're gonna be out of luck because when you hit the wall, you hit the wall. It's just that simple. It is what it is. So we try to tell women this all the time.
You going in and out. Michael, go out and come back in. I'm gonna take you out and come back in. Classy, what's going on? What's going on, Trey? Classy perspective. What's going on? What's your thoughts?
Hey, what's going on? I'm sorry I'm not on video because I'm at work. I didn't.
Oh, that's okay.
I apologize in advance. What's going on, Trey? What I would like to say to start off, I want to talk about the illegal immigration because I live out here in Los Angeles and I see what's going on. And a lot of these people, I can tell you right off rip, a lot of these protesters are paid protesters to do this stuff. Yeah. I honestly think a lot of the people that are doing the rioting, you can make an argument some of them are the illegals. I think the majority of them are Americans that ain't got jack to do in life. In my humblest opinion. I honestly think so because when I go downtown, you can see who's spraying up all the Waymos and all this stuff. I'm like, I think most of these people are, I hate to say it, I'm going to say Hispanic Americans. I'll just say that. I don't want to lump just one group. Right. It's Hispanic Americans that's doing most of the damage because it's the stupid part of their culture that's doing this stuff. Right. I know this off rip. And the reason why I had this conversation with my friend at work about everything about all this is going on. And I explained to him, he tell me, well, America don't know what these people are going through. They don't know what we go through in our pain. I said, sir, you've been in America all your life. If you are in any country illegally, you're going to get arrested. Some countries just might beat the hell out of you. It is what it is. You don't belong there. If I go to another country, I need my passport. I need a tourist visa. And that tourist visa or student visa, I have a visa that's going to give me how many days that I can stay there. If I go past that point, I am now known as an illegal immigrant. Why would I get arrested? Because I'm not contributing anything to that country. No taxes to the country and nothing to the natives. So they're going to kick me out. This is what he doesn't understand. He talks about, well, Mexico used to own California. Go look at your history. The president that was running the country, he sold it back to the Americans. Now, if you sell me your house, I got the right to kick you out of my property. You don't belong here. Get out. And I told him, I said, can we be honest about something? In America, you do have the right to wear your country's flag in our country, and nothing won't happen to you. You do have the right to burn our flag in our country, and nothing won't happen to you. Like I said in that chat, you take your butt in those other countries just walking with the American flag, you gonna get your tail kicked because they find it as a sign of disrespect. You burn their flag, oh, something worse is gonna happen to you. So I told him, I said, we can be honest, America has been pretty lenient. You got people that's been over here, we don't even ask you to speak English. You can speak your native and nothing won't happen to you. You've been here for 20 years producing babies after babies, and nothing has happened to you. You've been here this long and you never went to get your paperwork done?
Right.
My brother is married to a Mexican woman. That's my seal, and she calls me her Bill, meaning sister-in-law and brother-in-law. She got her citizenship 2 years ago, and she waited for 15 years. She finally got it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it clear. They're not arresting illegals that put in their paperwork. No, they're arresting illegals that's not even making the effort to go try to put in their paperwork to get something. That's who they putting out, and these old stupid criminals. And I know America got something to do with the cartel, but I'm not going to go that far. I'm just going to keep it right there. So I'm going to go ahead and go off into the Nigerian lady just for a second. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let Trey and Michael go ahead and get their thoughts off. Is it possible that you can date somebody that makes $500K? I think yes. My personal opinion, I think she's lying. I think she dated somebody that got $500K of rupees. But going back to my original point, I know females out in Los Angeles that dated basketball players. Okay, did you drive his car? Did he take you to your house? No, we just went out on a nice 5-star date. Where'd you go afterwards? We went to the hotel. He bit me over like I was a banana split, and he provided the nuts. And after it was all said and done, thank you, come again. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make it very clear, ladies. I'm gonna make this very clear, ladies. If you're with a man like that, it's one thing you better learn how to do. Shut that up. You don't talk about that man. You don't speak on that man. You don't go on Kendra Geeks or any of those shows to reveal anything about that man. That's how you stay in those circles if you got that type of clout. And if you lost that man, you should be able to get one of his friends. Or in his circles, but you don't have that man. You on a talk show telling us how you want another man for $500K. No, dear. Let me explain you how this worked. That man didn't want you. And I'm sure she probably looked good without the bonnet and stuff, but your presentation just made it all bad for everybody. That's probably why she got clowns. You come on here with a red bonnet, and I don't know what that. I'm sorry. You just, no present.
Bodies they be having bodies.
No. They have the bodies, but you know what they don't have, DeeDee, like you have? It's called first presentation. We're not going to believe you coming on the show with a bonnet on, look like you auditioning for the 2025 version of Good Times. I'm sick of this. Forgive me, but at the same time, like I said, you should be able to get another man like that. You should be able to be like Dre and Michelle. That's the good girls club. They know when to shut up because you know why? They get traded around by all those men. They get the apartments. They get the rides. They get the baby. She was probably hoping that man's condom would burst and she'll get some of that money. It didn't happen. Now she's on Kendra G and all this shit. Well, nobody. Can you get that man again? Yes or no?
No.
And the answer was no. And I digress. Pass the mic, please.
And I think Kendra G is the last resort for a lot of them. They've already tried. And now they're like, okay, let me go on here. Let me see if I can get some outcome. Let me see if they'll hit me up in the DMs. Child.
But DeeDee, I want to say one more thing. This woman has took out her eggs and not one drop of sperm hit it yet. They all ran from her eggs. That should tell you something. But go ahead. I digress.
Urban, thank you for the super chat. Says facts, classy. They don't do that in Spain or Portugal. I think he's responded to something you were saying. Thank you, C. Urban. And then Successful MD says over 85% paid immigration attorneys and locked up. Thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat. Trey, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the immigration goes, if you break into somebody's house, you would be labeled a burglar. You'll be arrested. You break into a country, they label you an immigrant and give you benefits. So, look, I think it's a messy situation no matter which way you go, right? Birthright citizenship issues that you have, people coming here and having babies, and that kind of lets them stay in the country and whatnot. Look, there's a lot going on. I will say this. I think for those of you who are in this country, I think that you need to take a second and humble yourself to realize that you are in the best country. I know you don't feel like it. I know you don't think that it is, but I want you to look at what other people from other countries are doing just to get the opportunity to be here. This is the land of prosperity. You want to change your family's life? You want to change the financial history of your family? You go to America and you do it. For most of us, we were born here. Now, granted, all countries have their problems, right? We certainly have ours. But think about it. People were in boxes. I remember watching a case where a guy was in a box for over 20 hours. He was in a box trying to be smuggled into this country. They caught him. They caught all of them.
Did you see the kids underneath the car seat, like at the car, underneath the bottom of the floor tiles?
Yeah. I mean, they had people stacked up on top of each other in the back of box trucks, remember? And they were dying. They were dying because there's no oxygen back there. So I just want most people just to take a second and realize that, you have a benefit that most people don't have on this planet by being a resident of this country. And again, like I said, of course, we have our issues. And guess what? Let me be the first to tell you, we will continue to have our issues in this country. But if you want to change some things that's going on in your family's financial history, this is the place to be. And you should take some pride in that. I want to piggyback off of what Classy said. It's very true. I've been to several countries. I remember I went to what they call it football. I went to a soccer game. I don't know why in the world I decided to take an American flag in. I'm just glad I got out alive. Because they don't play that. They don't play that in other countries.
Right.
They don't. They have so much national pride. Go to Brazil and play those games. Go to Portugal and play those games. Go to Colombia and play those games. Right. Go try to go to these other countries where they wear their flag. They're proud of the country that they come from. They're proud of the culture that they have. And you come in there with your big bag, red, white, and blue. Let's see how it works out for you. Right. You're not so tough when you're not on your own soil. Right. So, we need to understand that a lot of these people that are coming in this country, they are going to have pride for their country. Again, I have no issues with any of them as long as they go through the proper procedures and protocols to be here. And that includes the South Africans, President Trump. I voted for you, but I'm not impressed with this, and I don't like it at all, because it seems to me, from the outside looking in, it seems like you gave the South Africans a pass. That's what it looks like from the outside going in. It looks like you gave them a pass because your homeboy at the time, your ex-lover at the time, was South African. Now that mommy and daddy are fighting, I bet you regret that decision. So that's that. As far as the women and wanting money, we're going to be talking about this until you're blue in the face. The fact of the matter is that average women are always going to want successful men. They've had a taste of it. They understand it now. They want that life. I just literally watched a video where a guy was saying that beautiful woman should be for wealthy men, and that average people need to start getting back together, because that seems to be where the disconnect is, where most people don't believe that they're average anymore. More so on the women's side, but there are some men out here who also are a bit delusional, but it's far more on the women's side. They don't think that they are average. And the fact of the matter is that hair and makeup does not give you more points, right? Like I said, if you can't wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, wash your face, put a brush to your hair and be beautiful, then baby, you ain't beautiful. And the truth of the matter is that a lot of women out here are really just kind of cute. You mid to cute. Most of y'all are just mid to cute. Most men have not really truly seen an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful woman from head to toe. Most of us have never seen her. We don't even know what she looks like. We've only seen the ones on TV, but we've never been out. You never touched her. Most guys have never been within 10 feet of her. I'm talking about absolutely gorgeous from head to toe. Most guys don't. Most guys have never seen it. So we have to get back to a point where women and men both are getting together, and it's okay to be average. And the other part of this is too, the DeeDee and Cassie case should let you know, you really don't want to live the life of a rich man. You don't want to be with these guys because you're thinking that it's going to be like your average normie relationships. You haven't learned yet. Harvey Weinstein, Epstein, Hugh Hefner, these super wealthy men, usually got a whole lot of other stuff going on with them.
All right.
And if you want to
DeeDee.
if you want to be with them, that means that you're gonna have to be with the shits too. You haven't figured that out yet? And it's hard for people to understand that beautiful women are with the shits. Cassie should be an example that a lot of beautiful women are with this, and they're actually used to it by being with wealthy men, because they've been around so many wealthy men that they know that this is what comes with the territory. But ask some really actually, very attractive women who have legitimately dated, not just got smashed, legitimately dated millionaires, and ask them. They'll tell you some stories. No, these guys are freaky. Think about all the women that were going over to Dubai. What was happening over in Dubai? We talking about extremely wealthy men now. We're coming back, and they call it Dubai now. They were coming back different women for what, 100,000? Change your life, because you don't realize that the life of wealthy men is not what you think it is. You think it's your normie. Oh, we go to the movies on the weekends. We go to the farmers markets. Nah, they're wealthy. See, if you don't want to do this stuff, just find somebody else to do it. They'll just disregard you. That's what happened to Cassie. Cassie got replaced by 50's ex. And then 50's ex got mad because she got replaced. See, that's how it works with these wealthy guys. Remember, wealthy guys have abundance. You can be replaced when they got money like that. So we need to get back to a time where women who are average, mid to average, and men who are mid to average, mid to cute, or men who are mid to decently good looking, they start to pair up. But that's not going to happen because Instagram and social media and television and movies and all this has got people thinking that they're a lot higher than what they actually are. And
that's why I said in the beginning that times is not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better.
Circle for a while. We're going to be in this circle for a while. And DeeDee, the best part of it is you're going to have content for a long time. You're gonna have content. You're gonna be around for a long time.
You're gonna make a lot of
long time.
You're gonna have like 1 million views by the time she hits
views. Yes.
Listen, they wear me out though. It's like I
know this is driving you crazy.
He's starting to talk differently. I can hear and see.
I gotta take a deep breath before I come on here. It's like, oh shit, I gotta say the same old shit over and over and over and over. It's crazy though, it is the delusion of it all. I really believe they're delusion. Y'all see, like Trey said, I believe we all are average. I don't see no problem with it. I don't understand, like though, I think the wigs and the makeup has definitely made these women think that they're 10s and above average and they could get a rich man. When you don't go home to your apartment in an average environment and find rich men swarming you around trying to get with you. I don't understand. If y'all go out to the club with your average friends, with your average family, you hang out at the barbecue and on the Saturday, Sunday, where the rich men at? They're not even in the vicinity of these men. And if you were, you would see they're not even checking for you. They're not looking for you. They do want what they believe are super attractive women, and those women look a certain way. They look a certain way. They have a certain look. If you look at what these rich men pick, you see it's these small, petite, attractive women in the face, whatever. Like they have a certain type.
Yes.
So which is why they typically all share them.
Yeah.
Because they're all looking for the same type of woman. So that's why they keep passing them around. Karuchi gets passed around, right?
And I know these stories. And Miss DeeDee, I know these stories kind of disgust you, don't they? They kind of get on your skin sometimes, don't they?
I mean, the delusional aspect of it is like, damn, y'all don't see what's going on. Y'all not paying attention. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like, I don't, to be so educated as they claim to be, you don't understand what's going on. See how y'all could logically sit here and say what it is. Why is that so difficult? Most women won't come up on this panel and speak the way y'all are speaking. They don't, because they don't agree with what I'm saying, and they think I'm a pick me and I'm just trying to get y'all approval. That's what they tell me. And
you're just being honest. You're just being honest, really.
No. You're not a pick me because you've been chosen. So there's a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
It's done. See, that's a lot of the issue that they have, DeeDee, is that they want to call other women pick me, but you can't call a woman a pick me if she's been chosen. She has a husband. She's been chosen.
They They still do it. They still do it. They still do it. That's why I say y'all are delusional. Y'all just stuck on stupid. That's what I tell them. They're like, girl, you just stupid. I tell them. They be sending me messages. I be like, you just stupid. I just keep it moving.
I never understand. It's like, do you want to be picked by men, or do you want to wait till the new AI robots come out?
Exactly.
It don't make no sense.
Y'all laughing, but nobody uses toys more than women do. So Classy's not off on that. Yeah, Classy is not off on that.
I can tell you some stories, but go ahead, Trey. Go ahead.
It's just to your point. We have this thought process that somehow like women are going to be phased out when these AI robots come because the men are going to get. And I'm like, no, you guys got this backwards. It's going to be the women who are using these robots more than anybody because they've already been programmed and raised to use it. I'm gonna tell you right now. If any of you guys would think that I'm joking, the next time you with a lady or somebody that you get, bottom drawer out and see what happens. See what's in that bottom drawer. See how many toys and gadgets and buzzers and robots and all types of vibrators and so. Just go look. Tell her to say, let me see your toy chest. That's what I always say. Let me see your toy chest. Oh, I don't have one of those. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Every woman has one. Let me see your toy chest. You got a toy chest, and you'll be surprised. Man, they be pulling out things to be wobbling all over the place, and you're like, "What in the hell?" I didn't even know some of the stuff. I didn't know they made a torso. Did you know that, DeeDee? I just learned this. They make an actual male torso with the member. Yeah, with the member on. So it's like from the shoulders down to just beneath the hips, and it's a whole thing that she can climb on top of and she can ride it. Yeah.
I know a woman that had that.
But here's the thing.
Home. I said I can't compete with that.
Yeah,
Wait, say that again, Classy. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I knew a woman that had one of those things. I'm like, dog, this thing is built and it's like 14 inches standing tall. I'm like, I can't compete with that. I'm going home.
Hey, look, DeeDee, and they don't never put no average size, piece on them. Right. I mean, this dude is. He's humongous.
It's like the freaking tower.
I don't know nothing about it. I don't need it, baby.
It's not. But eventually, it's going to drive people crazy because people are going to want human interaction. They're going to want to talk to an average man. They're not going to want to talk to an AI that repeats everything they say or agree with everything they say all the time. They're not going to want to do that. That's going to drive them crazy.
No disrespect, brother. I think that's where your inexperience with women comes in. Women always want to be right. And if they can program a robot to tell them that they're right all the time, why would they ever trade that out? They always want to be right. Always want to be right. Here's the thing. And this is the beauty of when you can see an actual strong marriage. When I can look at the woman when she knows she's wrong, she's in a marriage and she be dead wrong, and her man, I tell her husband, be like, yeah, you're wrong about this. And she can actually take that. She can receive that and say, damn, I was kind of wrong about that. That's how you know they have a healthy marriage. I have seen marriages where the woman is dead wrong. She's wrong in every sense of the word. And the man, her husband, will tell her, you're wrong about that. And she was like, you can't tell me. You're supposed to be on my side. We're supposed to be a team. He's like, I'm on the side of right. You know what I mean? I'm on the side. He can't even get his own wife in line because there's a constant need. Kevin Samuels told y'all there's a constant need of always wanting to be right. It's there. So you mean to tell me they gonna come over with a robot who's gonna say yes, ma'am? Sure, you're the most beautiful. It's like the Wicked Witch of the West looking to who's the fairest of them all. She's gonna have one of those every morning to tell her how beautiful she is. You think they don't want that?
Oh, Trey, let me add.
That's just another device and tool to feed the ego.
Yes,
just like social media.
Oh, I'm sorry, C. Irvin. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was gonna say, Trey, add on the movie Weird Science. Remember when they were prompt engineering what they want that model look like? That's what they're gonna do with the type of male AI they want.
Sir.
Go ahead, C. Irvin. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I just agree with you guys, man. Like women are not going to turn that away. Anything to feed the ego and make them feel, as Trey said, to make them feel that they're right. They're going to embrace it and they're going to delve into it. They don't think about the after effects of these things. Chasing after things that feed your ego. They don't see the after effect of what happens after that. what you miss out on,
There's,
So
there's always been a need for validation, right? Back in the day before social media, most women got their validation from the man that they were married to or the men that they were talking
Right.
to. This is why catcalling was such a big deal, because if a girl wanted to get some validation, she throw on her makeup, she put on a nice dress, and she go walk down the street, and the guys would whistle at her. Ooh, girl, you look so good. That's a beautiful dress. That was her validation. Well, now that all of that's gone, you see a lot of women, they're looking for this. They're looking for it. Right? I mean, I've had my exes send me pictures of them in a dress, and I'd be like, okay. They're like, you don't like my dress? What does she think she's fishing for? She's fishing for validation.
She's fishing for validation.
Right.
Validation.
So if you're telling these women you can buy your validation, you can buy it. You can program the robot. He can sound like Denzel. He can sound like Trey Songz. He can sound like Chris Brown. You can sound like whomever you want him to sound like every morning to tell you how beautiful you are. It'll sing to you. It'll give you massages. This is where we're headed, DeeDee. This is where we're headed.
Yeah.
Trust me, they're gonna be far more.
But that would be.
it's going to be more reasonable for women to say they don't need a man then.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
I don't need a man.
But that will be the end of civilization, because
no, it won't. No, it won't.
It will be the end of civilization, because that's just not natural. That's just not natural.
Nothing that we're doing now is natural. You think that a woman who can put some batteries in a toy and pleasure herself is natural? Is that natural?
No, it's not.
Okay, so the world we live in right now is not natural. Here's the point I'm trying to make to you, Michael. The point I'm making is the only ones who want the natural connection are us, the men. We're the ones that want it. We're the suckers for love. We're the ones who want it. And I've said this before. Once you've been with a real woman, a real live woman who is warm and wet, if you know what I mean, you don't want anything else. Nothing fake can replicate that. There's no robot you can make. You can make the skin as lifelike as you want to and all that. You cannot replicate a woman.
Right.
Can't do it. So the only ones who gonna be leading this intimacy is us.
Right.
We're the ones that's gonna need it. Because they don't need that. They need the validation from it. They need to be made to feel good about themselves. So we're working on two different planes here.
This is true. These are all facts.
Successful MD says classy. They prefer to be recycled than picked.
Well, if that's the case, successful MD, I'm going to donate myself in doing what I like to call a 68. That's when I turn my back away from them and pleasure myself. But go ahead, I digress.
Hustler, what's your thoughts? How are you? It's getting crazy out here.
I'm doing good. How's everyone doing?
Good. What's your
man?
Yeah, y'all were talking about the AI robots. I know I did a show sometime last year about the AI. Our AI sex bot's gonna be the new world order of dating. In my humble opinion, I've always thought men are gonna benefit more. What do we men want? Just a woman to come home to, pleasure us while we just go outside and focus on our purpose. But women, they want more. They want an emotional connection. They want a spiritual connection. And they're not going to get that from some AI machine that's just programmed to just do whatever she wants. Like the gentleman next to me said, it's a robot program to do whatever you want, agree with everything you say. At some point, they're going to get tired of that. And we all know real women do not want a yes man. They want a man with a backbone, despite the bullshit that they may say. They want a man with a freaking backbone, is not afraid to contest them on certain things. They're not going to get that from some machine that's just programmed to do whatever they want. They're not going to get the benefit of it. No, they're not. So that's how I feel about the whole AI thing. If anything, men are going to benefit more because, hey, we just want somebody to go home to have sex with, and then we can go about our day and maybe have a relationship with. Our needs are more minimalistic compared to women's needs. Put it like that.
That is facts. I mean, we're not the one begging to have Louis Vuitton. I'll buy a woman a Luigi Vuitton.
Right. Just come home, just go outside and put on just put some lingerie on when I come home, and I'll feel satisfied. I'll program an independent thinker, but she's gonna be loyal, faithful, and respectful to me. And come on, we've seen enough horror movies to know how AI go down. You've seen Terminator, you've seen iRobot. Now they got a new movie called Megan 2.0 coming out soon. So we know
she
AI is going to
kicking
be
everybody's butt.
Yep. AI is just going to take society out, whether they become self-aware and decide to take us all out. I remember back in 2018, they had a video game called Detroit Being Human, and it's a game about a society where, yep, I played it. I haven't finished it, but I played it. In the game, it's a society where people and robots live together in peace, but the robots are like second-class citizens of some sort, and they act as slaves or servants to the human beings. Yeah. They become self-aware and start rebelling. Each character got their own story to play. You should try it out. It's a good game.
It's a very great game.
It's a great game. Trust me. I played for 5 hours straight, but I never beat it, even today.
I'm on the fence with the whole robot thing because I do agree with what Trey was saying. I agree with what Hustler is saying. I think because women have this rose. I don't know if y'all heard of the rose. They tired of that. And it's like they're saying, it caused yeast infections and all kind of problems. So now y'all got to slack up off of that. Now what's next? Like, I think they don't have no other choice. If that's what's available, they're trying it, but then they would really prefer a man, but then they're skeptical about the men that they have to choose from. So I don't know. I feel like I'm on the fence with it because I do think just as much as men want intimacy with the real woman, I think women want intimacy with a real man too. To me, I don't think any of that replace a real man. I mean,
you're really not
interaction with each other. So I think there are women who want that too, though. Maybe they'll just go with it if that's all that's available. But if they have the choice, they want a real man.
That's facts.
Yeah, nothing can replicate the human touch. Right. Think about this, right? They make these massage chairs that are like zero gravity massage chairs. They're like $3,000 for a massage chair. I was thinking about getting one. It'd be nice to have a little massage chair in the house, something real nice. And I sat in one. I'm like, for $3,000, like, yeah, it feels good, but it's not the same. I would much rather just go get a membership at a massage. Yeah, rubs your back, had the little thoracic thing and your legs and your calves, and it lays you down and all that. It was one of them zero, like and it's expensive, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but I could just go get a massage.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have one. I sold it.
Where you get it from? Yeah. Send me the link. I might need to try that because
I bought it from a store actually in LA.
So this was back in the day. The name of the store it was called Sharper Image was the name.
That's
of the
it. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sharper Image Sharper Image is closed now. It's shut down.
You can still find them though, but it's not.
You can find the massage chairs. You can find the massage chairs, but to me, you can't replicate the human touch. I think ultimately, I think majority of people that's what they're craving the most. I guess I was talking to somebody the other day. I don't think it's really the sex that people want. I think that's a portion of it, sure, right? We all have those itches that need to be scratched, right? I get that, but I think it's all the other time. It's the hugs, the kisses, the cuddling, the spooning, the hanging out, the holding hands, the horse playing around the house. There's a whole bunch of other stuff I think that people are truly craving. I know for me, that's the best part of a relationship to me. Don't get me wrong. The sex is what it is, but it's all this other stuff that comes along with when you're in a relationship that, to me, in my opinion, can be far more satisfying than the actual act of sex. I mean, when you really break it down, what are we talking about? For most guys, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, for your super elite guys, maybe a couple hours. But you still got 20 some odd hours left in the day. What are you going to do with the rest of the day? That's where the intimacy comes in. That's where all this other stuff comes in. Because you can't just, unless you DeeDee and Cassie, you having 24-hour freak offs. I mean, I guess you could do it for 24 hours, but I mean, that's a rare occasion. You know what I mean? Most people don't do that. Most people got jobs and kids. You know what I mean? But you want somebody that you can come and chill on the couch with and watch a movie with, or binge watch your favorite show with. You know what I mean? All that stuff. I think that's far more important, but you just don't have that. And I think that is ultimately what people really, that's what they really want, is that connection. We don't have that anymore.
That's why I think sex work is not, there's no intimacy there. It's just getting to the dude, Oh, dude,
I could have told you that.
What you want?
Yeah, I could answer that. I can confirm that.
And these women become numb to that, and they become used to that, and then they just be, it's just
gentlemen's clubs.
transaction. I think
The gentlemen's clubs.
yeah, most people want a relationship, but not just a transactional thing. Oh, this, that, here, and that. You want something more. And I said, I think that's the difference. This is why I think a lot of women who do that sex work, they're not really happy. And this is why a lot of them say they want husbands and they want a family after the fact, but they don't realize how men are looking at them after they've been with 1,000 men and y'all have done everything possible. Most men ain't gonna be turned on by her.
No, the only thing left to be attracted to on her is her earlobes.
That might not even be attractive. Shit. I mean, what
Right.
left? After you've done all, I mean, they might have used earlobe. I mean, what people are doing out here, there ain't nothing left to the imagination. She'd have been flipped, tossed, slid, dragged, all kind. Like what is left? Like, why would you? I mean, come on. You wouldn't want to make somebody like that your wife.
You might probably need to be an exorcist. Even that probably won't even work to get all those spirits out of her.
Right.
Well, that's one of the reasons why they're referred to as providers. They are service providers. So when you go to them, it's because you're there for a service, right? Oh, wow. There is no intimacy.
Exactly.
They can't provide that because in order to have intimacy, typically you need a connection. So you gotta have you can't, but you don't have that with somebody you only gonna see for 60 to 90 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't work.
Yeah, you gotta read the room, move with your environment.
Right. But they do serve a purpose though. I'm all for it. I think 304 is a necessary to society. I'm just saying.
No, they're not.
I think they're necessary to society. I do. I think they are.
I agree with you.
Well, they say we need hoes to weed the garden, so maybe they do have maybe there's a purpose.
Jesse, y'all utilizing y'all utilizing that?
No, what I mean by that is the fact of the matter is we talk about 304s, I mean, me personally, I call it legalized prostitution. What I mean by that is that we know this profession has been around since the dawn of time. Yeah. And there's not, let's keep it $1,000. There are going to be a lot of men who won't be married in life. So they're going to need some form of affection and attention. Yes, we have it too. We're just not as vast as women are. And I want to say, forgive me, DeeDee, it's Friday. I'm letting loose today. So I'm not speaking as classy as I used to. Sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
You got to be balanced, buddy. I've been rocking with this man for almost a year, so I know how he knows how I am. I know how he is.
All right. What else y'all want to say? Any thoughts?
Well, my thoughts, I'll go ahead and give my thoughts. I hope all the blessings for you, DeeDee, and your family. I know the reason why you make videos the way you do is because you have kids and you want to see them married. You want to have grandkids. You want them to have grandkids by the right woman or the right husband. We get it. But the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, we have a community. We do have a community full of probably some single women that could be good wives. I'll say that. But, it just kind of messed up that for a lot of men, we have to jump into that situation. We can't start our legacy with that woman for the most part. We would prefer women without children. I don't have any children, so I'm speaking to myself. But at this point, blessings to you and your family. We understand why you are getting a little bit more, putting more gravas into your videos. We understand because you have a family. Me, I don't have a family, but I'm going to stay addicted to condoms. I digress. Go ahead.
Gotcha.
Look, if you're going to get married, just stay broke. Whatever you do, don't get rich.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you that's the honest truth. You're going to get married. Just stay broke. Don't get any money, because I've been reading the details of this Portia Williams and Simon divorce.
Yeah. And what about
he had a prenup. So you would think he was good, right? He had a prenup. Well, she contested the prenup and she won. Just read it. She just won it. And so they have to make a decision on a $7 million home that he bought before they got married. Right on the head, but whatever you do, go out here and make a whole lot of money. He has to make a decision. The judge gave him a certain amount of time to make a decision on what he wants to do with the house. But the fact of the matter is, the whole point in the prenup was to be able to protect those assets that were not, you know what I mean, that were not purchased during the marriage. Here we are talking about a $7 million home that he had before he got.
That's crazy.
Right. So at the end of the day, you know, listen, I see somebody said that all his money overseas. Yeah, that doesn't matter. You got to look up the divorce laws. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter his money's overseas. If he got married in America, they don't care. Listen, so this is the point I'm making, because people will say, well, you get married and all these things, and that's true. You can do it. You can have all this paperwork, but that doesn't mean it's contested. And guess who has to pay all the lawyer fees for her contesting it?
He does.
He does.
Him. He has to.
So all this, because I love these guys. I love these guys who say that they ain't paying for it. Oh, I ain't have to pay for it. Oh, I got it for free. Oh, she loves me. Oh, she likes me. You sure? Because if you got some money, it's gonna cost you. It's going to cost you. You can either pay in the front door or you can pay out in the back door, but you're going to pay one way or another. You're going to pay. And this is just another example of it. So it's fine. Get married all you want to, but be careful about your assets, because even a prenup may not save you. What's her name? The sprinkle chick. She gives it. Yeah, she gives advice. She gives advice on how to be able to get out of your prenup. She tells him to take meds and be on medication and all this other stuff. So that way you can say, I wasn't in my right frame of mind during the time when I signed it. And you know what I mean? You got to understand that this is a system that is against men. Yeah, right? The court system is against you. It is trying to take all of your resources away from you. They don't care. The court system wasn't built for us. It's not for child support, family, court, none of it. It's not built for us. It's not built for us to thrive in it at all. So you put yourself in these situations, you got to be careful. And even in a prenup, it's still going to cost you, because you can appeal it and you still got to pay the attorneys. And guess what? You still got to pay for her attorneys, even in an appeal.
So if she get the house, is the house paid for? I'm just wondering. So if the house is paid for, or if it's not, what she can do, sell it? Because a lot of these women,
she can do whatever she wants. It's her house. She was fighting over a Rolls Royce. She got the Rolls Royce.
Okay, I wonder if it's paid for, or she got to continue the notes on it or whatever. Because a lot of these women get these things and then they end up having to, they lose it. They get it in a divorce settlement and then they lose it because they cannot keep up the payments. They can't keep up the taxes. So they end up losing it anyway. A lot of them.
I'll give you a good example. I'll give you a good example of that. Hulk Hogan. Guys, remember Hulk Hogan? Say your vitamins, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, brother? When Hulkamania runs wild on you? Yeah. When he got divorced from Linda Hogan, he had $10 million in an investment account. Right? She took 70% of it. Damn. So she took about $7.44 million. That investment account. She took 4 cars, she took a house, and she took some other things. She was broke. To your point, DeeDee, she spent all of it. She didn't invest it properly. She lost all the money. Now, this woman didn't give nobody a leg drop. She didn't give nobody a big boot. She didn't slam Andre the Giant at WrestleMania. She didn't do any of this stuff. She got 70% of the assets. Then she got upset because, I don't know if you know, but Hulk Hogan, he wound up suing a prawn company, and he won. He won like $30 million. He won. She was trying to get a piece of it. Now, this is well after they were divorced.
Oh, she needed.
She was broke. She needed to get some of that money. So this is how all of this came out. They were like, well, what happened to all the money that you got when in your divorce? It's gone. It's gone.
She spent it, Trey, because she didn't know how to work hard for it. You know.
Right. I believe that's why Lil Wayne got rid of his recent fiance.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe that Lil Wayne, that's the reason why Lil Wayne got rid of his recent fiance. He figured out that she was a gold digger and he just kicked her to the curb, her and her daughter.
Oh, Michael, tell the whole story. Tell her how he did it. It was
he gave her a text, told pack their stuff up, gave her a text, and kicked her out of the house.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the other woman.
I was going to say
that one.
While he had 2 other bras coming and flying in.
Yeah.
You don't leave that part out.
Yeah, he had 2 other women coming in the house. Yeah.
No,
yeah, I forgot about that part.
No, the other single mother that I was talking about her, he he told her that he was going to marry her, and he had the attorney draw up a fake marriage license. And so when they went to the courthouse, she signed it. She wanted to divorce him the next week. And when they went to court, the judge found out that the documents was fake.
So Lil Wayne has a high IQ. He's not stupid.
No.
So he know how to play. He know how to play even when it comes to getting that you know what. So Lil Wayne is not a stupid person.
Well, that's what happened. That's what happened to Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens got married, and a week later she divorced him.
Yeah. But then again, Lil Wayne, he had his lawyer draw up fake papers, so she got nothing. Even though all those drugs made his dreads blonde, he looked like a broke Super Saiyan. He is smart.
I like that.
Very smart.
Or classy. Hopefully Kevin Gates did the same thing too.
Brittany Renner.
We're talking about we're talking about with who?
Legally married. Kevin. Oh wait, Kevin Gates and what's her name?
Brittany Renner. They're not legally married.
I thought she ended the marriage. Ran for 2 months.
Oh, they're not legally married.
They're not legally married because he's already legally married. He's already legally married to some chick named Drecka.
They never got a
They didn't get a divorce? Didn't finalize
they got a divorce.
Still legally married? Her? Okay. I think she was
So
why did that break up? Dreka, whatever her name is. Yeah. Why did they have kids together? Why did they? I don't understand why they broke up. She left him.
You know, it's these high profile marriages are always hard to tell, right? I mean, Kevin Costner's going through it. His ex-wife is getting $200,000 a month. Kelly Clarkson was married, and she's paying her ex-husband $200,000 a month. Mary J. Blige was married. She's paying now however much she's paying. These high profile celebrity marriages, I don't think they're ever really built on anything anyway, right? So they're very easy. They're very easy to tear down. It's easy to tear down because there's no actual real foundation. I think when you are in that type of lifestyle, I think typically the only ones that really make it are the ones where they were broke together at first.
Right.
Like I look at the Denzel,
Ice Cube and his wife.
Ice Cube, his wife, the Denzel, and Paul
Kendrick. What about Kendrick?
Kendrick, yeah, like those guys where he didn't have anything. What's the guy? Ryan Coogler and his wife, and she bought him. But those types of marriages, I think they're actually built on something. You know what I mean? And so it's Morris Chestnut. Yeah, they're a lot harder to, they're not going to sway in the wind when things get rough because they can go back to a time where we didn't have anything, and a lot of times it's the woman who believed in the dream, and she in some cases like Ryan Coogler, she funded the dream. You know what I mean? She worked in Washington. She funded Denzel's dream to be an actor. You know what I mean? So I think it's built on something. And also, I know people don't like this, but it gives the woman a return on her investment if she has something to invest in the beginning. It's almost like, hey, I put in something into this. I don't want to lose out on it, so I'm going to stick around. Whereas if you meet her and you're already a multimillionaire, there's no investment for her to put in. There's nothing for her to put in there. She can only receive resources.
Yeah, she's a mercenary. But the thing about Denzel Washington, what a lot of people do not know, Denzel Washington's wife was an actress. She's like on the same level of Angela Bassett and the rest of those women. She had yielded back and let Denzel do the work.
Very true.
Now when he retires, she gonna reap the benefits of his glory.
And their children, since they're acting as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree that when you start from the beginning, same thing with what's the basketball player? What is it? LeBron.
LeBron James. I know you knew you were talking about.
And Savannah, yeah.
Yeah, usually they end up staying together for a long time anyway, These other people, I don't know, it's just a lot of stuff going on. And then, that's why I don't like to look at or base my information on celebrities, because I know that that's fleeting. Like a lot of them are for superficial reasons or for one reason. And they don't And some of them aren't really the relationship that you think they are. We see people together and we think, oh, they're together or they get married. Sometimes it's for a totally different reason. So some of it wasn't even meant to last. You don't look at that as your inspiration, but a lot of women do. A lot of people look at what the celebrities do and they base that on their own lives. And I think that's a big mistake. You should never do that.
And I want to say,
I would say a lot of women even looked at the Dwayne Wade situation back in the day, Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade as couples goals. But I mean, look at it. Look at the situation now. He's
more manly than him.
Right. I don't even see him as a appropriate father. From what he's doing with his kid. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, but
he's emasculated. He's emasculated.
The women were tripping out. He said she paid her own something like she didn't pay all the bills. She paid bill. They was pissed. They was like, "What you mean, Dwayne Wade, and you're paying bills?" And she was stressed out or whatever. They didn't like that though. They didn't like that.
And she ultimately changed her stance on that.
She did.
She changed. She went to no. He pays all the bills now because he has significantly more money. But I want to talk about the Dwayne Wade and the father thing. Look, his child's decisions are what they are. But that man did the right thing by them boys. You guys don't remember that those boys were with the mom. He fought to get them.
That's true.
He wrote a book. He wrote a book about this. And he fought to go get those boys away from that mom. She eventually ended up losing in court. So he's, I don't like what's going on there, but that's not my family. You know what I mean? But as far as him doing what needs to be done as far as being a dad, I think he did what he was supposed to do. He went and got them. He went and got them boys from up under her.
But what was the situation with the mom?
You could do certain things, right? Certain things.
Right.
So he did the right thing with some of the boys, but with that one boy, I don't agree with that, and I don't agree that children can determine whether they want, their sex as a child. I think if you are a boy, you're gonna be treated as a boy. When you become and you live your own life, then you can make those decisions. But I'm not condoning dressing my girl like a boy. All that. No. If you still feel that way when you're an adult and you're making your own decisions, then you go ahead and do that. But I'm not condoning that. So I just think, we get some things right as parents and we get some things wrong. All of us.
Of course. Yeah, that's the beauty of parenting. There's no perfect job. You're not always going to get it 100% right. Here's what I think. I think he saw the early signs of this, which is why he probably went to go get them in the first place. And he just couldn't. He couldn't stop the bleeding, to use a medical term. He couldn't stop the bleeding. Right. Well, I think he saw it early. I remember when I came home from Turkey one time, and my son, who had been with his mother, he stood and put his hand on his hip. Like how women stand. He was very young at the time, but I'll never forget it. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, oh, hell no, I got to come home. I got to come home right now, because if I allow this to continue, he's just going to pick up more and more mannerisms because he's around his mother all the time. And I had to remind her, hey, be careful what you do around him. This is a boy that we are raising to be a man. He cannot act like you. He can't speak like you. He can't think like you. He can't be emotional like you, because the world won't treat him as such. It will treat him as if he is a man. He won't get the same luxuries that you will get as a woman, right? He won't get those things. And so, I think Dwayne Wade saw this and was like, I need to intervene. This is going bad. I just think he couldn't stop it.
At a point, I'll give you that.
But I sure wouldn't promote it.
And Gabrielle was
okay. I think it's okay to intervene. Trey,
Gabrielle was
I think it's okay to intervene, but I would say he's kind of encouraging it. He's kind of pushing it. With his kid. This is what I've seen just in short clips and interviews.
What are the choices?
He don't have to promote it.
But you don't have to promote it. You don't have to promote it. If it was my kid, okay, my kid decides to do what he or she wants to do, but I can say I don't agree with it. Like Lil Boozy, he doesn't agree with what one of his, I think his daughter or something is doing. He doesn't agree with it.
Yeah.
He still loves his kid, but he just doesn't agree with it. And I think that's what a man does. A man stands on what he believes in. He doesn't sway,
Yeah.
And how does his daughter speak about it?
She don't like it. She she's negatively. But I mean, listen, as the parent or the father, you gotta stand your ground. Those are your children. Look, I don't agree with your lifestyle, but I love you. But I'm not gonna go out to everything to support what you're doing. Just know I love you. That's your choice. I don't agree with it. But I'm not gonna alienate you. I'm not gonna disown you. But just know that I don't believe in that. So I can't, just because you're my child, I can't just all of a sudden, if I'm not for that type of lifestyle, I'm just going to go out and start promoting and push. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to love you the way I've been loving you. You could come home, do whatever, but I'm not going to be all, supportive of that. Like, go all out my way to show you. No, you shouldn't the love of the parent be enough? You don't always agree with what your children choose to do, right?
Yeah, that's fair. You can actually respect your kid, but not agree with the lifestyle. That's true.
How I feel about it. Yeah, I'm going to respect you and what you do because it's your life as
Right.
an adult. But I'm not going to be all, if that's not my thing, should I just put that to the side? Look, I think it is like parents. Like parents, you have a piss poor parent that raised you, right? And then, because I've experienced this, and then when you grow up, they tell you, I gave you the best life ever. I've experienced it. And I'm looking around like, where, when, what, how? Like, that's not my experience. But you want me to agree with you and say, oh, yeah. When we was growing up, you did everything you could for us. You did this. And I know that's a lie. No, I'm not going to sit there. Because I know people who do that. They agree. They just be quiet and they let that person lie in front of their face when you know you didn't have half of what you needed, but I'm gonna sit here and let you. That's how I feel about it. Like, no, I'm not gonna sit here and agree with you just because you want to grandstand now after the fact and make people think that you were the perfect parent when I know you were not. No, I'm calling you out. I'm saying no, the hell you wasn't. I don't care. Now, if you get mad and you don't want to deal with me, well, that's your problem. That's not mine. I'm not running as a child who know that you're lying and you trying to make yourself look great. I'm not running behind. It is what it is. I'm gonna live my life and you live yours. Because if you keep doing that, that's that to me, that's an injustice to me. You're lying to me when I experience what you did. Like, I don't know how I equate that to that, but I do. I equate that to a parent, to like, you wanted me to just accept your lies and go with it when the things that you did had a direct negative effect on me, and I had to grow up and live through this and get my shit together and possibly needed therapy and all of this, and I'm gonna sit here and let you lie and say you was the excellent mother. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not changing. Yeah, y'all get what I'm saying? That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, there was a Gen Zer who did a TikTok. He was a young guy. He was saying exactly what you were saying. He was saying, you know why so many of us are jacked up? Because y'all look what y'all brought us into. Like you didn't have your stuff together, and yet you had a kid. You had me. And so now I'm jacked. You know what I mean? And then you want us to be better, but how can we be better when you weren't better? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I have to deal with what I have. And some people can overcome the obstacles, but most people can't. Right? Most people don't have a desire to. Most people are comfortable living their life the way that it is. But no, I completely agree. But we have younger generations who are saying the same thing. Like, yo, my dad wasn't around. You raised me in poverty. We was poor. Like, you had me. I didn't make this decision. Now you want me to go out and go fix all the problems that you brought me into. That's unfair to me.
And then on top of that, to lie and say, oh no, I raised my kids with this lying in the church and telling these people these lies. And, I got to sit here and listen to this. And I'm just getting more and more infuriated. Like, what the hell? Now that's
in church.
Yeah.
All they do is lie in church.
I know.
And that day many shall come up to me saying, Lord, Lord, Master, Master, did we not prophesy in your name? He's gonna say, depart from me if I never knew you. That's talking about the church.
I'm not trying. Listen, these people crazy. I'm not doing that. The audacity. I've seen people.
You be starting world wars at your cookouts. Your cookouts don't never go according to plan, huh?
They don't want to tell me nothing. They keep me out of the loop because they know if one try to, don't start no mess, because I'm busting. I'm the one that gonna open all the can of worms. I'm gonna bust the lies open right in front of everybody, and I wait till everybody get there, and then don't tell me nothing, and then you lie and you tell somebody else, because I'm gonna bring it all to the light. That's me. and they don't like me for it. So people don't tell me stuff in my family, because don't come telling me some shit and then lie, and then you say, and I'm gonna say she said this, he said that. What is going on? That's me. For real, I'm not even lying. My sister will tell you, no, they don't tell me nothing, because I'm like, don't come unless you come and correct, unless you being honest about something, because they've done it in the past, and I wait till everybody get together at the cookout. Come on, what you said about what such and such, because now she here. What you want? What? That's me.
Yeah, you know, DeeDee, I had the same conversation with my mother. She was starting to, feel herself a little bit. She's saying, I raised 2 kids by myself, and she was going off. She was feeling good. She had a little bit too much wine, you know what I mean? But she was feeling good. Yeah. And I looked at my sister and I just said it to her. I said, you raised 2 kids by yourself because you picked horrible fathers for both. I said it just like that, and the room went silent.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's why you had to raise both of us by yourself, because you picked 2 horrible men.
That's a sad
My
thought,
father,
but it's true.
It's true. It's just the truth. And nobody liked it, but it was the truth. So let me go ahead and bring you down. Let me bring you back down to reality. The reason why you were dealt the hand you were dealt is because you dealt it to yourself.
Yep. Yeah. But they as the child, even as an adult, you're still the child of those people. They expect you to just go with the flow and be quiet and accept their lies and all that. No, I can't do it. I think I tried it at one point in my life, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, because it's hurtful when you know what you do, and you gotta, figure out things on your own and learn how to be a better person. And then they coming up with these lies, like telling me, nah, I bust that right open. I don't care. So look, I gotta. You brought me here, and I didn't ask to be, but I'm here, and I gotta live my life. I can't go through life trying to coddle you and make you feel good, and it's a lie. What? No. And I think that's why there's a disconnect between mothers, that generation of mothers and fathers, but usually the mothers, really, because the fathers weren't there. So it's the mothers, and a lot of people don't deal with their mothers like that because of that. And I'm one of them. I'm like, no, love you, but I can love you.
I always tell these guys, go have a conversation with your father first before you pass judgment. Just go talk to him first and see if you get the whole story. Because all your life you've only been hearing one side of the story. Get the entire story, and to find out maybe he wasn't allowed to be in your life. Right? I got a homeboy whose daughter's mom, son's mother took him away and moved to Georgia. Literally in the middle of the night, just vanished. And I remember, I think I told you this, DeeDee, before. We had to go down to Georgia and go get him.
Damn.
We rode down to Georgia to go get him. Like, you can't just take somebody's kid away from them in the middle of the night. You can't do that. You know what I mean? But if you have a conversation, because he could have grown up the whole time thinking my dad didn't want me, my dad doesn't love me, and not knowing, no, you were taken away from your father. So if you can, everybody can't do that, but if you can, have a conversation with your father and get both sides of that story, because the Kirk Franklin stories, the Arnett J. Now stories, the Tyler Perry stories, all these stories are coming out about these women, and like Kirk Franklin's mother still lying. They didn't did the DNA test twice, and she's still claiming, nah, I can't be.
Yeah, she's still claiming even after DNA test. She's still crying and stuff.
And that reminds me of the judge that was on the Phil Scott show, the Caucasian judge. Found out that after 40-something years, his 2 sons that he called deadbeat weren't even his children.
I don't feel sorry for him.
Yeah, he was a judge. He was an old judge, an old Caucasian judge.
Yeah.
After 40-something years, he found out that his 2 sons wasn't his. And after he went to get a DNA test to see if either one of them had a kidney good enough for his brother, and now he's sitting there in the car talking about the only good thing is that it's not my fault that those 2 idiots got dumped into this world, because they weren't nothing like him. His 2 sons obviously weren't nothing like him. They weren't lawyers. They weren't judges. So he figured that they were deadbeats. So he figured that they were just naturally deadbeats. They took care of somebody in the family, but come to find out, they ain't even come from his side of the family. They're not even his kids.
That's true, but I don't feel bad with him because he probably a child court judge. He probably get all the pension from the child support. I don't feel
But
bad.
you do have to feel sorry for him because his
No,
wife
I
did
don't.
cheat on him.
No, I do from that.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
No, I don't. No, because he probably one of them judges that be doing other men like that. Forget him.
But it's one of those things where you have a lot of, saw videos where you have a lot of women now who are like begging, like, please don't change the laws and make it paternity test mandatory because they know. And
they know what they be doing.
Well, it's not only that, DeeDee. What I think I'm most appalled about is how many of the friends know. You know what I mean? Like Auntie KK and Auntie such and such. She will literally look at this kid and know that the man that is not, that they're saying is the father, is not the father. She knows it for a fact because the mom told her that it's actually the other man's. And I'm like, y'all don't have any integrity to step up and tell and just say, hey, hey.
Women will go to the grave with secrets.
Yeah, they cover it up. They be knowing.
I had a friend, DeeDee, like who was taking care of a kid that wasn't his.
He knew the kid.
No, he thought the kid was his.
Oh,
like he met the girl and everything, and then she got pregnant, and as the kid got older, like certain friends in our circle were like, are you sure the kid is yours? We've heard some rumors the kid doesn't look like you. And I think for him, just being his friend, I think he became so used to the kid, he felt like the kid was his. And he really did believe the kid was his because she said that she loved him and everything. And, that kid, I think around 6 or 7, the real father came back to their place of residence. And he was like, he wants to take care of his kid. And she ended up leaving my friend to go and be with him. And that destroyed him. Like he wasn't the same since then. That really, really broke him down because he was super thrilled and excited when she was having a kid and everything. She was sad about it at the time, but now I understand why. Well, we all understand why she was sad about it at the time, because she probably wanted to be with that dude, and that dude didn't probably want anything to do with her back then. But he was on the other end, super excited, everything, saying he's gonna be, try to be the best father, everything, for her. And he did a lot for them. Clothes, everything for her as well. And then this dude came back, and her whole tune changed up, and she was just like, she has to go and do this, and yeah,
when he wants to leave her again for him.
Huh?
When she went back, leaves her, she gonna look for him.
They're not together. The guy she went with, like, they're not like the guy. She went back with the guy who's the kid's father, but maybe they were together for some years, but they're not. Fast forward time, they're not together.
Let me tell you guys something. As a man who has kids, right? If there's always the possibility of her coming back. I'm just gonna tell you the truth.
That's true.
I'm gonna tell you the real honest truth. There is always, and by the way, she's still smashing the baby daddy too. I'm gonna tell you that too. A lot of people don't want.
Well, she left my Trey. She left my friend to go back with him.
To go back to him. I know that's the point.
And she went back to the guy, and then the guy did his own thing in the end.
No,
they didn't get married.
He's making
I get that. But the point I'm trying to make is for you guys who don't mind being stepdaddies.
Yes.
This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. That if you thinking about being a stepdaddy, just know that when that itch needs to be scratched, she calls the baby daddy to go back. And in most cases, the baby daddy is the guy she probably wanted to be with anyway. Yep. In most cases, not in all cases, but in most cases, that's actually the guy she wants to be with. I'll give you an example. I was with a woman and we had a pregnancy scare, right? Not even pregnancy, she was pregnant, okay, but she wanted to lose the baby, right? And she wanted to get married, and I didn't want to get married. Obviously, I know how I feel about marriage. Didn't want to get married, right? She literally, so after we broke up, she got married. When I tell you the guy is a literal carbon copy of me, just uglier, but he's a carbon copy of me, He is. He is. He bald. He got a beard. I'm a little bit taller than him. Like we literally look alike. We literally, it's a carbon copy. There's another woman that I dated. She married a guy after we dated. DeeDee, he got the same first name, the same last name, and he's third generation like me. So most times when these women are having these kids with these men, that's probably the guy she wants to be with the most. So you thinking you're gonna come in and I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna be a good stepdaddy and I'm gonna show him how to do this and do that. And meanwhile, you're a utility to her, because what she really wants to be is with the dad. It's with the actual dad. And I'm telling you this as the guy who has smashed my baby moms on multiple occasions, even though we ain't been together. I'm telling you this.
Let me throw a cherry on top of that ice cream. Gentlemen,
That's why the pimp said a long time ago, go out with the girl that like you, not the girl you like.
Well, that's a fact too, but let me throw this out here. This is why I tell my friends this. Do not be a single father. Let me tell you why. Because that woman is spiritually connected to that man. She will not in, like he said, not all cases, but even with the ones that's not the cases, they thought about it. But at the same time, they're spiritually connected because they have a child. They share the same blood. And the fact of the matter is, what comes with that is trust and comfort. So when you mess up or you say something that she doesn't like, you know what? I hate my baby daddy to the tune of hell on earth. But you know what? If he calls and say, you know what? I ain't had no like 7 months. You coming? All right, I'll be there. It's going to happen.
Hey, Classy, let me tell you how petty I am. I told my daughter's mom, my DNA is inside of you, sweetheart. You can't go nowhere.
Thank you.
Okay, who you?
Because
okay, who you? Okay, I don't care who you get with. You can get married, baby. My DNA is inside. You have my child. My DNA is inside of you. You do know that, right?
You have alternated her DNA. That's correct.
You do know that, right, DeeDee? Your husband's DNA is inside of you.
Yes.
You can't get away from him. You can't get away from him. Yeah. So I told her.
Y'all need to pick one man to be with him, child. Because if you this, no matter who you get with, baby girl, you can't run from me. I'm inside of you all the time. Like, why would you?
I
told her straight up.
Watch you.
And the funny part is she thought I was joking. About 2 hours later, she sent me a text message. I think it's called like microcharism. I can't remember the exact phrase, but there's an actual science. You know what I'm talking about, Classy, right? Yeah. There's an actual scientific medical like label for this, like where when she has a child, she has her child, the man's DNA is inside of her. So I'm not making this up. And I told her, I said, I'm inside of you. I said, every time you do, and I told her, I said, you do certain little ticks and mannerisms that I do now. You never did them before. You never did them before. But now we had a kid, our kid's almost 7. You ever notice that? I said, even so much so that my mother has said to you, ooh, you made a face like Trey would make. She sees it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm inside of you, baby. Ain't nothing you can
I'm
do
sorry.
about it. I'm here.
That's right.
I ain't going nowhere.
When you first met me, I was cute as a mogwai. And when I left you, I was ugly as Stripes from Gremlin, but I can still come back.
And DeeDee, the truth of the matter is there's a lot of women who are actually sitting and waiting. They're waiting and hoping that one day he'll fall. Yep. And he wants to come back. I'm serious. This is real stuff.
We're not lying, DeeDee.
This is real stuff.
That they say is low lives and broke and they don't want them.
Don't ever believe it. Don't ever believe it. I'm telling you, that's the main guy. That's
that's not. Yeah, that's not true. Like I said, my friend, she went back to a dude who is broke. You know.
That's why I said about the money.
And he didn't even want her. And he didn't even want her in the end. He didn't want to marry her.
But he perfected his stroke game.
DeeDee, Jasmine Sullivan has a song that says, I'm in love with another man.
Yes.
He said, the man, he ain't as tall as you are. He ain't as good looking as you are. He don't make as much money as you do. I don't know what it is. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. She can't leave. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. We try to act like it's not a real thing. There's a lot of women who got kids and they're sitting there waiting. They're just hoping and praying. Yeah, they're going to go out. Women are always going to go on a date. I've told guys all the time, the easiest way to get a woman to go out with you, just ask her, just feed her. She'll go with it. you really want to date that bad, just say, hey, let me take you to get something to eat. She gonna say yes. Oh yeah, I've been wanting some crabs for a long time. I've been wanting, ooh, this is some real nice pasta. Yeah, they always hungry. Women are always hungry. Always.
I'm gonna be like, I can't afford it. I'm gonna take you to Costco or Sam's Club for the samplers.
Shit, I'm hungry. You ain't lying.
I know. It's my go-to. If I gotta go through that phone and I gotta get back, I'm trying to spin the block. You know what I'm saying, DeeDee? I'm trying to spin the block. I always say, hey, I hit her up and say, you eat dinner tonight? No, I was gonna go pick something up. What you got in mind? Got her.
Yeah. I did that one time. I did something stupid. I took a girl out to Maestro's in LA and Beverly Hills. It was like a $2,000 steak with the trimmers and everything. And then I got the best night of my life, lingerie and all the good smellings.
But why you spent $2,000, Classy?
I mean, it ain't nothing to me. I can get it back. But the fact of the matter is still stupid to do.
Classy, you don't have to spend that over here, man.
I know, but I was 20 at that time when I did it. I won't do it now.
He was young, dumb, and full of money.
Still full of it, but at the same time, I'd rather take the woman to Sam's Club for the samplers. I'll buy the Pepsi.
You've come a long way.
I don't know if he's gotten smarter or thriftier. I'm not sure which one. But either way, it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade.
I've been brokenhearted before, so it took me a long time to put the pieces back together with glue. And now it's back together. It has gotten stronger.
I don't even eat them Sam's.
Classy's back in the game.
You bugging, DeeDee. I will destroy Costco samples.
That's right.
Listen, what I spend a block on them samples, especially if they got something good, 4-5 times. And the best thing to do, hopefully it's an older white woman. Because I go up there and I flirt a little bit and she give me another sample. And I flirt a little bit more, she give me another sample.
Yeah, she sounds like that.
What I didn't know is
Julie, the chef. Oh my God, I'm gonna put the samples together. I love those women.
I remember one time I got the last sample, and I was like, "Dang, this is good." And she said, "Oh, I'm gonna go get some more." And I completely forgot. I walked by her, she waving, "Hey, I got more for you. Come on." Oh yeah, I crushed some samples. Crush them samples.
I don't do them. Maybe I'll try. I don't know. Who knows?
But the point I was making though, it is for a lot of these guys. First of all, you don't ever think you're the only guy because you're not the only guy. I don't know why. There's a lot of guys in their ego. This is something we need to study, the male egos. A lot of guys think, it's just me. It's never just you. Her DMs and her text messages can prove it's never just you. It's never just you.
Do you feel the same way about married women too?
Some married women, yeah. Because I slept with some married women. And I know.
I got some experiences too.
I have too. A few female
I got
doctors.
some experiences too. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not oblivious. I mean, I know some women. That's why I say you can't be my friend because I will tell your husband that you're cheating.
You know what it is, DeeDee?
I'm telling.
It's a spectrum. This is what I've noticed. It's a spectrum. You either get the really good wife who's not going to do nothing like that, and that's just not in her. She's not built like that. You can throw money at her. You can throw 13-inch. 13 inches. She don't want none of it. She just, it's just not her. She won't do it.
And I will say before you say that, there's no perfect wife. There's no perfect husband.
And there's no perfect husband, no perfect marriage either.
No perfect nothing. But if she's like what you're describing, she's crazy in other areas. Just want to let that be clear.
For sure.
Yeah. As long as she's not alpha widow, DeeDee, then it's fine.
Okay.
Like as long as she's not stuck on some ex.
Okay.
That's something guys need to do their research in. That's one of the first things you need to find out. What's her longest relationship, and how stuck is she on this guy?
Okay.
That is that on the other end is like some of the women that I've dealt with that were married, they don't give a damn, DeeDee. They don't care. He ain't giving me what I want. He done told me no too many times.
Yeah.
I had one chick tell me, "Oh, we're in an open marriage." They were not. She lied.
Oh.
They were not. They were not in an open marriage. She just wanted to get her rocks off, right? And so it just depends on which end of the spectrum. I very rarely find a woman who's in the middle who I don't think there really is a middle. You just either meet the woman who's like, "No, I wouldn't do that to my husband," or you get the woman who's like, "What's up?" Especially if they in a bind, he ain't making no money. You know what I'm saying? Like if they in some sort of situations, she's willing. She's willing.
Not necessarily, man. Not necessarily, man. I met women who
hold on.
a lot of money.
The exception does not make the rule.
I get it, but
hold on. Who cheats the most? Married people or single people? It's a trick question. Single people can't cheat.
Right. So it's married people.
So married.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I just asked to see what y'all head at. Yeah, I know women are conniving. You know what I'm saying? And some of them, like you said, don't give a damn. They gonna cheat. And I told you, me and my husband know a couple who was getting married. I'm like, oh, they're getting married, and they said we still gonna cheat. They both was cheating. And they said we get married, but we still gonna cheat. So I'm just like, we looking like, okay, this is something different. All right, do you?
I met my married woman who was out with her girlfriends, and they obviously knew she was married.
Right.
And
married.
We ended up going back. And when I got back to her place, she said to me, "Oh, like, by the way, tomorrow you need to leave around 10 or 11 because of my husband." And I thought she was joking because, we had drinks and, we're out and stuff. And I go, ha ha, funny, very funny. The next morning, I go to the kitchen and I look at the fridge and I see pictures of her and another guy, her and another guy, her and another guy on her fridge. Like these magnets and pictures that people keep on their fridges and stuff like that.
Right.
And yeah, I got my stuff and I left. I left. She wanted to meet up after, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
The picture of the guys on the fridge, that was her husband or just different?
Yeah, it was her husband.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was his place or their place.
Mm-hmm. I'm not shocked.
And she was acting as single as ever. Even her girlfriends were encouraging it, saying, "Do you like my friend? You guys should hang out."
Yeah.
And she said these are her best friends, these girls.
Yeah, they're ratchet. Those best friends are horrible. They don't have your best interest at heart. These women, they don't care. They be trying to get you to break, mess up your marriage anyway. A lot of these women, they be out here trying to get you to mess up your marriage so you could be single like them. And then, so yeah, I don't fool with, I don't.
Yeah, I told a woman once I was dating, I said, if you're telling your friends something that happened between you and me, and the first thing they say is, "I could never get rid of that friend. She's gonna hate you, she's gonna cheat you, she's gonna take you down the wrong path." I always find it interesting, the difference between some women and some men. If I go to my homeboys and say, "We had a problem, me and my wife have a problem, me and my girlfriend was having a problem," my boys will hear the story and they give the best answer. Well, you were wrong on this one, so you need to go fix this. Or she was wrong, she was wrong, you need to go fix. Like your boys will give you a legitimate answer. I don't feel like women do that to each other. Like maybe you do, DeeDee. You might be the exception to this rule.
I don't have no
Well, there you go. But
that's why DeeDee don't have female friends.
Right.
Not many.
So, but when most females go talk to their friends about what's going on, they just sort of encourage more BS instead of telling them, even when they know that they're wrong. Like, "Hey, you're wrong.
Yeah, let's go out tonight. Let's go out tonight. Oh, those guys seem cool. Go talk to him."
They listen. I've said this before. I'll say this a million times. Most women are on the spectrum. I think a lot of guys are fooled. I'm serious. A lot of guys are fooled thinking that every girl out here is a good girl. A good girl can become a bad girl, and a bad girl can become a good girl. It's on a spectrum. I mean, there's a porn star, Tiana Trump, is over there folding clothes and doing housework now for a soccer player. I'm dead serious. She's dating some soccer player now. Now all of a sudden she's folding clothes and doing laundry, and she's domesticated. It's a spectrum. There's a spectrum, and a lot of guys don't want to admit this, DeeDee. That's just the truth. It's just the truth.
It is. It is. You know, so this is why I say you got to vet who you dating, and just know it's difficult, because I know women, and women are difficult, and women, their feelings could take them over here or take them over there. So I am not oblivious to women, and I'll be honest as a woman. That's what women don't like about me, because I'm honest about it, even though, you know, you may look at me and be like, well, girl, this apply to you too. Well, you know, I'll tell you whether it does or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm married and been married for a long time, and that's how I plan on keeping it until one of us passes away. That's just my thing. You know, I'm not, you know, and that's why I say I'm not perfect. I got a little crazy stuff too with me too. I've been, you know, throughout the years, I had to learn some things. That's why I try to tell women, because, you know, and men too, I try to say it, because sometimes men have this idea that, oh, and if they looking at me like, oh, well, see, DeeDee, you're the type of woman that these, you know, women should be like. Nah, not really. I may not be, I'm gonna keep it 100. I may not be promiscuous or have been promiscuous, you know, out in the street and had all these, been ran through with all that, but there's a little crazy in there. And
you got your issues too.
Hell yeah. But I think the good thing about it is I've worked on them while being married. This is why I don't think you don't have to. I mean, I don't think I'm the craziest, but I got some shit with me too that I had to learn, and my husband had to get me straight. Like, it wasn't no easy sailing. I'm just saying. So that's why I say it. When I say, hey, there are no perfect individuals, people like to go to cheating. I don't think that's the only thing. I've never cheated on my husband, and I don't believe my husband has ever cheated on me. You know what I'm saying? Because when I say that, people be like, oh, you don't know. Well, what I don't know, I don't know. But I don't believe he has. He hasn't given me any reason to think so. And like I said before, if he has, he's damn good at it. If he did it, he's damn good at it. So if you good at it like that, so I never had to run and try to find you, nobody never called. Okay, so be it. Whatever the hell, ain't bothering me. Everything's straight over here. Ain't no money missing. So what? Well, okay, whatever.
If he was, he's cheating the right way.
Right. If he is, he's doing a damn good job, I would say. Because I don't know how you. Hell, we pretty much together a lot of. If you're doing it, you're doing a great job. That's all I can say. But what I'm saying is, I haven't been a cakewalk either. You know what I'm saying? I have not been this model woman. Hell no. That's why I say I was raised by a single mother. I had that single mother mindset. That's how I understand the women who have it, you know. But I learned early on, you know, that, you know, that's not, I didn't want to be like that. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to work on yourself. That's all. Nobody is perfect. So that's why I be telling you sometimes you got to understand the quality of the woman that you have. Okay, she got some issues, but how detrimental are those? You gotta weigh that. It's not like a one size fits all. You gotta see who she. Because overall, I believe I'm a good person. I'm a caring person, and I'm gonna show it. So who you are, like, I didn't mind like doing things for my man before he was my husband. Like, I would cook. I told you I would do stuff. It didn't bother. So I think men whatever you're looking for in a woman, you're gonna notice it in the woman that you're dating, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, if you see some qualities in her that you like, every man is different. He might not care about this, but whatever you want, and if you see it in a woman that you with, I think you could look at that and, you know what I'm saying, say, damn, this somebody, you know, okay, I can rock with this or whatever. But it's up to y'all to determine that. Go ahead. What you were saying?
No, I was just gonna say there's also a maturity that comes along with that, and being able to self-diagnose and say, hey, I got this going on, I got that going on, I need to work on this. And then to be able to verbally express, I need the room to be able to work on it. I think a lot of women, you date them, especially like when you're single like me, you date them, they won't tell you, hey, I got my own issues. Here's the funny part. I know you got issues, babe. I'm just waiting for you to tell me. Right. I know you do. Everybody does. I got my issues too. I'll tell you straight. I got problems. I'm stubborn and bullheaded. I got issues. I got shit with me too, right? But the difference is I'm mature enough to tell you, hey, these are some of the hurdles you're going to have to jump over when you're dealing with me, because this is how I am. I can be difficult at times, right? This is how I am. But when you deal with shit across the table from a woman and she's making it seem like, well, no, nothing wrong with me.
That's a lie.
Well, Trey. Trey, I mean, you should know, man. Like a lot of women do that because they want to get to the finish line, which is the relationship. So why would she tell you that on the first date? You know.
The issue is that men are smarter now, and that in order for you to get to that finish line, excuse me, you're gonna have to tell me. because and you also have to remember, I'm not a 20-year-old either. I'm 40. Trust me, we're gonna have some real conversations, and they're gonna be uncomfortable conversations, right? You have to show me your credit report. That's uncomfortable for most people. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Your
If I
credit
had
report.
a credit report when I was 20, ooh, it was horrible. I don't think I would get a date. If you was looking at it then, oh hell no. Oh, I would be disqualified. My credit was bad. Oh no. But I get it. Trey, we can't hear
You know
you.
what I mean?
There you go. Now we
You
can hear you.
can?
Yeah, now
Okay.
we can.
Yeah, a lot of women will be disqualified
Yeah.
because it's something that's important. Because if we move forward, especially to something that is more permanent, like a marriage, your bills have become my bills,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I need to know what are you into, what you got going on around here. But the truth of the matter is that I think a lot of us, especially as men, we are really looking for there's a maturity. We're not getting that. We're not getting the maturity in saying, hey, I'm fucked up. I went through this and it's going on. I made bad decisions. I trusted this person. I shouldn't have trusted this person. I did a lot of things, and I'm dealing with the trauma that I got from that. But I need the space to be. I could deal with a woman who's honest about her shit. I literally can. I can rock with you. If you were honest about your shit and say, hey, my shit fucked up. I ain't where I need to be. I need some space. I need your strength. I need your logical mind, your common sense, the things that you have. I need those things because I think I've made some bad decisions in my life. And it's because I didn't have any logic and I didn't have any common sense. I didn't have any wisdom. So I need to draw that from you. I can rock with a woman that's honest. But like these women who are, I'm a 10 and I'm perfect and I ain't never been through nothing. And well, I didn't leave him. He didn't dump me. I left him. Stop it. Stop it. I already know you jacked up and I don't want to deal with you.
It takes some humility, in the maturity to know that, okay, I wasn't always right about every situation. I can't pretend and cosplay through dates and relationships. I have to be realistic with myself because, that mirror is going to show, in a relationship, that guy is going to, the guy who's potentially taking you seriously is going to reflect, the stuff you need to work on, and it's going to show. It's going to show eventually.
Exactly.
Can't mask it.
And too, it does take a level of maturity because I mean, at 20, I couldn't say that. I didn't say that right away. It took a little time. So if you're looking to get a young woman, she ain't gonna just come out and tell you I'm jacked up. She ain't gonna come out and tell you. It's gonna take a little bit of time to get that out of her. Like, so I think you have to be mature. For these women who are in their 30s and 40s, come on, y'all mature enough. Y'all should be able to say that. But these are the ones saying they're 10s and they will not settle. So what man in his right mind understanding now? See, we're talking. Well, I'm speaking in hindsight, like after, I'm older and I get it now. But when I was 20, I didn't get it. But I'm saying these old broads out here, they acting like, they're not gonna do. They still not. They like entitled. Like, you need to show me your what they say, your bank accounts and your all this, because like you owe them something. Ain't nobody got to show you their bank account, girl. If somebody asks you your bank account, you could just get up. Okay, nice night. See you later, baby. I ain't got time for this shit. Like, so moving, like what like it's just weird now. I don't know, it's weird.
Well, that's all because of the guys they chose in the past, right? So they dated the broke guys. Now they don't want to date the broke guy. They dated a guy who they didn't think was broke, and then he wound up being broke, and so now they need to verify that he's not broke. Me and the credit report thing, it comes from something. That's not me just waking up one morning. It came from, I was with a woman, living with a woman, had a child with a woman who had over $80,000 worth of debt, and I didn't do my homework. So guess what I'm going to do now?
How you gonna do
now I'm going to do my homework. So when you hear me say, well, I need to see this and I need to see that, all they're saying is, well, that's because the guys I dated in the past, I didn't do that. Didn't do that, and I didn't get what I wanted out of it. So now, but the problem is, maybe you're 50.
Right.
Now you're 50. You're talking about you're still a 10 at 50. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. We're too old now. But most of the time, that's what it is. It's always coming from some sort of trauma or some sort of, you know, that something happened to them, and they I'm not gonna make that mistake again. But baby, you're not 22,
right?
So you can't really pull the same. You can't pull the same game anymore.
Mm-hmm. And I get that it comes from trauma. I understand it, but I think they're going about it the wrong way. And it's like, now because you've been traumatized because of your poor vetting skills or your poor choices, you can't put that all on the men. Like, you got to understand that them men, they may have had some trauma too, that they trying to, and you could be triggering their trauma. So when you do what you're doing, you're triggering their trauma. They're like, oh no, I don't work too hard. Peace. I'm out. I don't want to deal with you because you're going to mess up my flow. I'm doing good. And I don't want to revert back to my old self and, you know, or whatever, what might come of it. So you got to understand each person, but they walking around like they're perfect. They're pristine. They have never had no trauma. They never made no mistakes. And you, the dusty old ninja, you had all kind of issues. I don't know what's wrong with you. You better come correct. Like, nah, no. That's the problem. It's one-sided. You acknowledge, you don't want to acknowledge that you're coming from a traumatic place. But you want to put it all on the men like they're the only ones who come from that place, and you treating it as such. That's the problem. So you got to acknowledge if you've been traumatized and you've had made some bad decisions or dealt some cards that were not good for you and you had to overcome, he had to do that too. So why don't y'all both come and let's have a conversation and see how we can meet in the middle? But they're not doing that. And I think that's the problem. They're walking around like they're these queens and I'm better than you. Child, no, these men ain't got to deal with y'all. And the men are showing, look, child, you ain't even that cute. You ain't even really my type. I was just trying to give you something, but hell, you ain't really. And then when you see that attitude, it's like, nah, she ain't worth it. So that's why
this is why those guys are going overseas.
I'll say that attitude of those particular women, they don't care about the man's feelings. You know, there's no empathy there. You know, it's all about how they feel and their trauma.
Yeah.
Consider, as you said, he may have went through trauma too. Mm-hmm. Can you put in his shoes? No, because it always has to revert back to her, how she feels, because that needs to be the primary source.
Yeah, selfish.
Yeah, it's selfish. It's centered, you know.
Mm-hmm. And people are selfish, men and women. You know, I've been selfish in the past, but too, I had to learn. I had my little selfish attitude in the beginning, and that's how I could relate to these women a bit. But some stuff I just can't relate to, but some of it I can. And this is why I try to give my little opinion and my anecdotal experiences to let them know, look, I get. They be saying I'm bashing them, but I'm telling y'all at the same time, I've had issues too, and I'm telling you how to go about working on yourself. Don't put it all on the man because it's not always him. You have a part to play in it too. And I think they don't want to, for some reason, I don't know why they're stuck there, but you would see, I mean, the entitlement is real. They really think, oh, what look at the Kendra G. How many flaws do you have? They barely mention flaws. Oh, I need work on time management. We're not talking about time management. We're talking about you. Are you ready to cuss a dude out? Are you ready to put your hands on him? Like, what do you do when you get mad? What do you do? Do you go out and leave and go cheat? Like, what do you do? Like, we talking about real stuff, not your time management.
This isn't a job interview.
The dumbest responses. Ain't nobody talking about no time management. And you need to. Would they say, oh, I need to work on not being so nice? Come on, you're a lie. Because when you get mad, all the mean comments, everything that you think of that person comes out. And you don't hold back. Worked on yourself.
What man doesn't want a nice woman?
Right. So that's how you know they lying. That's how you know they lying. Oh, I need to work on being too nice. You a lie. You ain't nice at all. You're mean.
DeeDee, I've never met a woman that was like, ooh, she mean. I like that.
No. But men like a little bit of aggression from women. I think that's a little truth, but not angry women.
Aggression from women.
Wait, say that again?
Beta men like aggression from women.
Okay. Would you consider Pepper that?
No, he's a little bit of a conundrum to me. I'm not quite. Some guys don't necessarily like spotlight. I used to just think he's a guy that just doesn't want to be in the forefront, but he may still be that dude behind. You know what I mean? Like he may be he's the leader of his home, but he just doesn't want to be in the spotlight. But as time has gone on, the Clarissa Shields thing, I'm starting to get more. Nah, that's not really what it is. This is a more of a beta type situation. Then I naturally assumed he just didn't want to be, because I'm like that. I've done things and people are like, oh, we need to acknowledge you. Listen, I'm like, no. I don't want to do all that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily always want to be in the spotlight. So that's why I just assumed he was. But now I'm looking at him and I'm going, no, I think that there's something, because I don't see much difference between Remy Ma and Clarissa Shields when it comes to their attitude and their demeanor. It's very aggressive and sort of in your face, especially with Clarissa because she's a boxer. Right? So she can't stand there and get punched in the face. That doesn't work that way, right? So I think it's more him. But most men, let me be more specific. There's a time for aggression, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's a time for aggression. Yeah. Okay. But this sort of like you need to praise and like worship me kind of aggression that a lot of these women have. Like I'm the best thing since pockets. That's no good. That's no good. And I don't think most men, that's not attractive. I for real have never ever met a woman that was mean, sassy, or had a bad attitude, and that's attractive. I have always seen women who were sweet, kind, generous. You know what I mean? They were nice. They were nice to be more sweet. They were soft spoken. And I would say, that's an attractive woman. Never seen the loud, masculine, aggressive, and like, ooh, like, oh yeah, I got to go get me one of them. Nah, no thank you.
Yeah, that's funny because most men don't say that. But I remember an interview with Papoose. He said he kind of liked that she was aggressive. He kind of liked that she was that way. He was attracted to that. He actually said that in an interview. But I mean, I think that's why I say some men do like it, but I don't think they like it in a sense of you being just mean and nasty. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I say if you that type and you like that, you got to be careful because look what it turned. Look how she talks about him now. Like, Lord knows. And it makes me think she never really cared about this dude. I mean,
and New York dudes are a little bit different too. Because the women in New York are a little bit different.
Yeah.
And the women in New York and Philly have a tendency, even down here in DC, have a tendency to be a little bit nice.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he finds it more attractive because he's probably been around it his entire life. But if you go and you really travel, you go to other countries and you see how like I don't even, it's not even necessarily feminine. It's like just sort of like, I don't know, they're just kind of like, they're just nice. Like, I don't know how else to put it. They're just like, they talk to you, they smile, it's just nice. And even if you try not to get with them, it's even if you just go to a store and they're just standing in the line and they'll strike up a conversation, whatever. It's just nice people. Whereas that's not always necessarily the case, especially when I'm down here in DC, the DMV area. And these women will look at you, what you looking at? What you looking at? You know what I mean? Like, hey, you staring? God damn. Sorry, you were standing in front of the window. I was looking out the window. You just happened to be standing in front of the window. My bad.
Wow.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, Trey. Like, where have you seen like feminine women, like outside of the U.S.? Where would you say this? Because you've traveled, right, outside of the U.S. You spoke about going to Turkey.
The most feminine women I've ever seen was when I was in Japan. I don't know if it's just their culture. Yeah, I don't know if it's just their culture, but they were just like super feminine, sweet, soft spoken. You know what I mean? Like just and again, culture does play a part in this. Like I said, I used to have a crush on a girl that was from Queens, New York. She's just different. That's just the way they are. In New York, you know what I mean? Culture plays a part in it. Where you're from plays a part in these things. Yep. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? You can go to. There's some places you can go to where, if you like, for instance, if you were down south, there's some Southern Black women who are very sweet and kind, and they smile, and they're very hospitable. You know what I mean? because that's just the culture that they were raised in. Big Mama taught them to be that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree.
Which is why the importance on vetting, which the point you made, DeeDee, about vetting is so important. And that's why I get upset. People be like, "Oh, well, y'all, you should know after 3 months." I'm like, it's impossible. You haven't asked all the questions. You haven't even been through even a tenth of the scenarios that you would need to be in to go through to really vet this person properly. Yeah, you may feel that this is the person you want to be with, but you haven't actually been through the practicality of a relationship with this person yet to know whether or not this is the person you should be with. To me, that vetting process takes months. It takes months, maybe even years. My cousin and her husband were together for 10 years, DeeDee, before they got married. 10 years they were together.
Jesus.
10
Lord.
years.
Then they got married and they stayed together?
Yeah, they've been together since high school. So more than likely, they're probably always going to be together, right? But you know what I mean? Like, there was no rush for them to get married. And I think there was a lot of growing pains. I would imagine there's a lot of growing pains within that 10 years. You know what I mean? Growing pains within that 10 years. So, but this idea, you have to vet, and it's important. And it's more so for the men. I think us men, we don't ask questions. We don't ask enough questions.
Y'all don't.
And we don't ask the right questions either.
Y'all don't.
I agree. As I got older, I would say I'm definitely in a different space now from where I was maybe 10 years ago.
But is it because y'all don't care? Y'all don't think that deep, or what? Because
I would say for me, traveling, DeeDee, traveling really opened my mind up. This is why I asked Trey that question as well. I really got, when I stepped out of the US, I really got to see different types of people and how people move and how people think and their mindsets. And it contributed, I'm sure, to the questions I asked, when I'm here or I'm in the US, So yeah, I think that helped me at least. Age too, sure. And time and experiences.
Yeah.
But as well, the next layer is traveling as well.
I think to answer the question, DeeDee, we're not thinking with the right head, right? You pick the woman up to take her out to dinner. She got on this little tiny dress. The ass is sitting fat. She got the boobs pushed up to her chin. She smelled good. She looked good. She got the makeup on. The hair looked good. She got her nails done, right? She looking fine as hell. We're not thinking right.
Right.
To sit there and really want to ask these almost invasive questions.
Yeah.
The questions that need to be asked about who she is, we just looking at the ass. You know what I mean? That's all we want. It isn't until after we get it. That's when you start asking questions like, so what's your relationship like with your dad? Fool, you should ask that question beforehand. Like, now you asking that question?
Yeah, y'all don't.
We don't ask because we're not wired that way. And I think it takes, again, we talked about maturity. It takes for a man to see, or it takes for a man to mature or to have more experience with women to get to that point where saying, baby, all that glitz and glamour you got going on, it's not going to deter me. I'm not about to let you play me. And also, let's be honest, you got to get burned a couple times. I don't mean that in a sexually transmitted disease kind of way. I mean it like you have to deal with women that have burned you for you to get to that point to say, you're not going to distract me with your beauty. It's not going to work anymore. So it's a combination of things. But when you ain't getting no 22-year-old dude to get out there and ask some real questions. That ain't what he thinking about. I've been there. It ain't what he thinking about.
Yeah. But I think that's something that they could learn from now. Like listening to, the older people telling you, hey, maybe you need to ask some questions. You don't have to bombard her with them, but just, every time y'all hang out with her, ask some questions, get to know. That's how you get to know the person and what they're about and what their experiences. Because what you've experienced in your youth or childhood can definitely kind of have an impact on who you are as an adult. Like that plays a part in who you become as an adult, and then plus other life experiences and things like that. So they kind of shape you like, some people are, don't want to hear, some men won't let a woman tell them anything, like what to do, anything. They don't listen to women, period. Some men are just, and that comes from a place, uh, you know, just like women are stubborn and don't want to hear it comes from a place, to be honest with you. And you have to really like get to that, to see where this person's head is at, as opposed to just looking at the beauty in the woman, and then you get with her and you end up liking her, and then y'all establish a relationship, and then all her crazy is going to come out. It's going and honestly, I will say, because my crazy came out kind of early, because I couldn't really hold it back. So the crazy came out early on, so he got to see it, and then but my husband, he was like, what the hell is going on? Like, what's going on? Like, he didn't just ignore it, he like, well, wait, because it's like, so to be honest, he helped me to get through a lot of the craziness. It wasn't, I ain't gonna say it was crazy, like crazy, nothing repair that you couldn't repair. But I was like a weirdo, kind of like
you had some programming. You had some programming.
Yes, good word. Because I'm like, I thought I was a weirdo, honestly. Programming, yes, for sure, for sure. And so, and it was like, I used to do crazy shit, like weirdos, like the way I was responding. I didn't know how to, I didn't know how to be in a relationship, to be honest. I didn't know how to be in a relationship. I saw a single mother, and I'm like, I was taught not to trust men. So that was that, and I was doing crazy stuff because I didn't trust, and without any reason to not trust. It's a lot of stuff. And I think people, and I think most people aren't bad inherently. I think, like you said, it's the programming. Sometimes you just got to talk about these things. And now, because nobody's talking, you're not really having these deep conversations. Everybody just, like you said, you screwing and they doing it, and then they figure out it later, and then, oh, you crazy, I can't be with you, and you crazy, oh, to hell with you, and then that's it. Nobody's really talking about these things that you should be talking about, like we're discussing here. Because I think you would get a better understanding of a person by listening to them, and here, like Trey, I got a better understanding of you by being on these panels. Because remember, I didn't like you at first at all. Oh my God. I tell anybody, you threw me off every time you came on a panel. I used to be like, and this is when I wasn't on camera. Remember, I used to just put the avatar up. I used to be like, look at this nigga here. Oh my God, I couldn't stand it. But listening to you over the time, I understand you better. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people need to listen to folks, pay attention, like not just have a conversation. You'll get to know a person a lot better by doing that. And you can have a better understanding of how they think, as opposed to just listen to your girlfriends and whoever tell, man, I don't do this. Or girl, girl, he don't like his mama. Don't talk to him. Like, this so stupid and superficial, and it's so surface level. You don't know, you got to get to talk to people to get to know them on a deeper level. And that's how I think you should be when dating. Get to know if you want to get to know them,
And that takes time.
It takes time. It definitely takes time. But if you just smashing and they just giving you the coochie, you ain't, and then asking you for money, ain't nobody got, and you ain't gonna want to take time to get to know them after that. You're just like, okay, this is what this is. And then how a lot of men think, okay, this is what this is. Okay, I'm gonna put her in a category as booty call. Like, so this is the booty call. That's it. I ain't trying to get to know you no more deeper. Come with the booty.
And that's why I say, for a woman, when I say she want to go out, I say, well, you don't really want to get to know me. Me having to take you out to eat, that has nothing to do with you getting to know me.
Right.
I don't mind. I'll feed you. Don't get me wrong. But if you really were trying to get to know me, a long walk in the park is probably much better, probably much more effective and efficient.
But it's the trait, the mindset, though. Trey. It's the mindset, man. Over here, I'll give you an example. Here in Germany, it's the complete opposite. Of course, there are some women who have been indoctrinated and do think in the type of way where, oh, you have to spend money on, and we're going to go on an expensive date. But I'm telling you, most of the dates I've had here, like, it's been like a coffee date, walk in the park. Even for the countries I've been to in Europe, Spain, Italy, it's very similar. The mindset is just a bit different.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, like I said, there's a cultural aspect to that, right? And depending on where you're at in the world, right? There's a lot of countries where the women are perfectly fine with a coffee date. But if you in a big city, LA and Atlanta and Miami, coffee dates ain't happening. She's not gonna want to do it. And the truth of the matter is because she's not really trying to get to know you, like you said, DeeDee. If people would just actually sit down and talk to each other, they'd actually get to know each other. But you're not really interested in getting to know me. You're interested to get to know what my utility is. What can I do for you? That's what you really want to know. And my thing is just keep it a buck. Be 100 about it from the beginning. Because if that's what you want, I can tell you, this is what I can afford. This is what I can afford. I'll tell you straight up. But if you're talking about, well, no, I really want to get to know you. And sweetie, we can go walk down by the monument and the White House and all that. We can go walk for 2 hours and I can tell you everything you need to know about me. If that's what it really, and it won't cost us a dime. Well, but it's not really about getting to know people anymore. That's not what it's about.
But that's the same metric you would use to determine if she's really serious or not. Because if you say, hey, I want to take you for a walk in the park, and she like, a walk in the park? What? Boom, you could stop right there because that's already
you sound broke. You sound broke. You broke.
You already know now. But if you want to entertain it more because you're thinking, well, you know what, maybe I could use this because Trey, you might be that type. Well, maybe let me see something. Maybe I can get what I want out of her in a strategical way. You know,
no, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
But then but this is not somebody you taking seriously, right? You just gonna entertain it because you know what you're trying to get. So that's how you know that because most women, and that's mostly what you see, the women who are like, they want to get something from you. I don't know. I mean, I like to be optimistic and say that there are some women who are still trying to find love for real, but they're tainted too in a sense because they believe you got to have all this money too. So I don't know. I think the majority of the people who think like I think are already married. They're already taken. And I just think the ones out here are influenced by the others or been married and they didn't have a lifestyle. Now they want the lifestyle. So it's just not a good look out here for relationships. But that's how you know.
And they have the nerve. They have the nerve to blame you. My thing is, you put yourself in that box. Remember when I wanted to go for a walk? Remember when I wanted to go for coffee? Remember when I wanted to go for ice cream? And you said that sound like broke nigga shit? Remember you said that? You put yourself in this box now. Oh, okay, cool. So now I know that you come at a cost. And as long as I'm willing to pay the cost and pay the fee, that's the box you put yourself in this box. I didn't do that. I tried to come at you on some real shit and just say, hey, this is who I am. Let me present to you, Trey. This is Trey. Take it or leave it. You know what I mean? But you didn't want that. You wanted the utility of Trey. Okay, well, fine. I put you in a different box, which means you get treated differently. I don't call and check up on you to see how your day goes because I don't have to because I pay the fee. So I don't have to do that. Whereas with the other type of women, DeeDee, I will call and check up. How was your day today? What you had going on today, right? Because she's actually trying to get to know me. So you put yourself in that box. I don't feel bad for you.
That's true. They don't see it like that. But you certainly, I mean, I can't not agree because that's just what it is. You worried about one thing, what you can get out of this person, money, and anybody that's interested in getting to know you ain't gonna be worried about your money. You know, I mean, it's just maybe this is an old mentality. Like I say, maybe I'm outdated. We're outdated in this thinking. But this is why these women are having a hard time. This is why they can't get what they want. You know, you definitely put yourself in the category of, I ain't gonna take her serious. I'm just gonna try to hit and run or whatever. And that's that.
Yeah. But DeeDee, a lot of the good ones, they're still indoctrinated by those toxic friends who are feeding them information as well. And they don't know how to let go of that.
Yeah, I think so.
They're always going to take advice and how to do things from their friends. And they're going to translate that into when they meet you. And they're going to end up, fumbling it and realizing, oh, okay, that didn't work because it's getting me the same result over and over and over again. Going with what their friends are feeding them. And then when those same friends find someone and try to do something different and they find someone, and they're left out of the frame. They're let go.
Right. Exactly.
It's going to take you, like when her girlfriends get into relationships, marriages, they're not going to take her with her.
Right. Coach Ferg, what you want? I'm about to wrap this up, y'all. But go ahead and give your thoughts, Ferg. How you doing?
How y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, I'm in my car, so I might lose my signal. Listen, man. Salute to the wives that understand the mission. Salute to them. Salute to the husbands that understand the mission. Listen, I understand it's a unique time where a lot of people just have, over the last 30 years, they've seen a whole lot of mess, a whole lot of chaos. I mean, out of all the things that, and this, I'm going to say this, I'm going to shut up. As men, right? If we were to be in a room and me and Trey was gonna go at it, we'll probably be ready to tear each other's head off. And we'll take on that challenge. We'll invite it, and if all the men on this panel got into it, we'll be tearing each other's necks up and fighting each other. But one of the hardest things for any man to do is to find a woman that he can rock out with for the rest of his life. That's probably one of the hardest things. Everything else is pretty easy, but finding a woman, and unfortunately, the good women don't really separate from the ones that get all the attention. And a lot of guys don't go to those spaces where they are. They just see what's out here and then make that comparison. But I believe there shouldn't be any question if I just meet somebody. My mother told me this. Whenever I just meet somebody, I should be able to ask her every question that comes to my head. And sometimes the questions that they don't answer would be my answer. So then it's up to me. If I move forward, then and I say I like a little toxic.
Trey, you paused. Come out and come back in, Ferg. I want to hear what you're saying, and then I'm gonna wrap this up, y'all. The other Trey, any last words, any final words you want to give to the people?
No, I'm good. It's good to see y'all.
Yeah.
If you on the East Coast, get an umbrella because it's gonna rain.
Okay.
So, but other than that, no. Enjoy your week, and I'll catch y'all whenever you come back. What, probably Friday?
Next Friday, yes.
Next Friday. Oh, next Friday. Got it. Noted. Next Friday. Got it. Oh, and early. I guess it's Father's Day weekend, isn't it? This weekend. So
Sunday is Father's Day. Yes.
yeah. So happy early Father's Day to all the fathers out here. Stop letting people tell you that fathers aren't necessary and that we aren't doing a good job, because all the statistics disprove that we are doing a good job. And keep up the good work. I'll see y'all on the next one.
Trey, and be
Thank
safe.
you. I appreciate it. I will. I'll try. But I'm gonna fire that grill. I'm gonna fire that grill up. Anything is liable to happen this weekend because it's my weekend. I only get one. I only get one a week. I mean, one a year. I get one weekend a year. So anything can go down.
Exactly. Have fun, Trey. Be safe. I'll
see y'all.
All right.
Yeah, be safe, people.
Coach Ferg, go ahead. Go ahead. I can hear you now.
I'm glad you provide a space for Trey to come up here and sort of release some of that frustration. No, what I was saying was, my mother told me this about women, right? Whenever I meet a woman, I should be able to ask her any question that comes to my mind. And if she doesn't answer that question, that should be my answer. And if I choose to deal with her after that, then I'm going to get whatever she dishes out, because I went in knowing what the possibilities could be. And when she showed up, then I act surprised. No, I shouldn't be surprised, because if I like toxic women, then I'm bringing that spirit into my life. And then I shouldn't be surprised when a woman is toxic. Yes, a lot of women are lost, and they following the same ideology that's been passed down over the last 35 years. However, those young men who was told that they wasn't in shit, they was beat down.
Ferg, you went out again. See, Irving, any final words?
No, I just wanted to wish you a nice start to the weekend as well, DeeDee. And I guess you're going to be back again next Friday.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can drop a Father's Day special next week will be cool as well.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, happy Father's Day as well to your husband as well. And yeah, enjoy the weekend as well.
You don't have kids?
No, I don't. I do want, but no.
Yeah. Well, take care. See, Irvin, I appreciate you so much for being here and becoming a part of the fam. I appreciate your input and everything and your support. I just want to let you know that. So yeah, you know you're definitely welcome anytime I'm up here, child.
For sure. And I'm trying to get some of my other people on here as well, you know, because like I said, there are people on this side who support you as well. So it'll be nice if they can actually come up as well. So in the future.
Yeah, well, they're welcome. Let them know.
Yeah. Nice.
No problem. Well, take care.
All right.
Ferg.
Miss DeeDee, real quick, salute to your husband. Tell him happy Father's Day. Hope y'all enjoy your weekend. Today's Friday the 13th. It's always a good luck day for me. So salute to you. Always do a great show. Always. I'm always show up when I can. So yeah, everybody go home and take a bath. It's summertime. Get y'all musty ass in some water. Get clean and fresh. So y'all can find y'all significant other or partner or whatever you're looking for. They'll show up if you're fresh and clean. Other than that, stop whining. Salute, Miss DeeDee. I'm out.
Happy early Father's Day to you too, Ferg.
Salute to you. All right.
Later. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Listen, to all the fathers out there, happy early Father's Day to you. I hope you guys enjoy your day. Continue to be the great fathers that you are. Do not let anybody deter you from what you're doing or tell you you're not worth anything, because just ignore that. You are necessary, you are needed, you're worthy, and just go with that and continue to do what you're doing. So I just want to applaud you guys. Be safe though. Have a good time, enjoy yourself, and continue to do what you're doing. I appreciate everybody who supports the channel, who's in the chat, everybody watching, everybody in the chat, everybody who supports via however you support. I appreciate you for that. Make sure you guys continue to watch the videos that are posted on the channel. Just go over, watch them, give them a like or even a comment, and share them even if you can. And if you're new to the channel and you like the content, but you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That's super important. And turn on that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. So y'all, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get out here. I will see you guys back next Friday, y'all. Enjoy your Father's Day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Y'all be safe out here in these streets. And yeah, I love you guys. Y'all stay tuned for more. We got a lot more to come. So make sure you are continuously supporting and watching the channel. So peace out. Y'all be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.